Welcome to Outlaw Radio on a Wednesday evening, March 19th, 2025. There's a lot going on. Welcome to the show. My name is Kevin Barnes. I'm the host of Outlaw Radio. I'm also the architect of the People's News Network, which is a Facebook group. If you're not in it, go and get in it. How y'all doing this evening, man? Is it a blizzard coming our way? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the weather. Listen, it's spring in Wisconsin in the Midwest. Hey, we already know it does what it does. But welcome to the show. I hope you and yours are safe. It's another edition of Outlaw Radio. As Black as Possible is the name of the show tonight. As Black as Possible. I'm going to explain that. We're on Mondays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Normally, there's a phone number attached to the show, 262-202-5131, 262-202-5131, and we have a chat room that always pops, so you can get in where you fit in the chat room. Case in point, here's my brother, Big Reg. He said, yo, another live. Welcome to Outlaw Radio, my brother. How you doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. I got my co-host with me. Buckle up for this one, man. What's popping with you, doctor?
Hey, life is what's happening, man. How y'all doing out there? Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk. Raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you why I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the culture, teacher, hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor. Hey, mama, can't go to see most, man. Come on in. If you ain't been to the House of Vitality, you better come on and check it out.
I don't know if you brought your own applause machine tonight.
Yeah, no, I had the audience. The audience popped in for a second.
Yeah, I see that. Hey, man, welcome to the show. Hope everything's going good with you. This is a show. It's crazy. They're all classic to me, but this one will probably be a classic one. Because I have to give it up. I have to talk about the death of my brother Daryl Farmer today. So let me get this up here. Right, get this up. This is a Milwaukee thing. If you don't know who Daryl Farmer was, or you don't remember, maybe you're too young, maybe you weren't around. Daryl Farmer, aka King Rick, is the individual who, I guess, resuscitated the Black Panther movement in Milwaukee in about 2015. I say resuscitated because this was the first time I had seen the reorganization of it since Mike McGee Sr. had done it in the early 90s with the Black Panther, with the, with how he had it. So the militia. So listen, I just want to say, I got to know this brother and I hadn't spoken to him. I hadn't, people, Kamar, in life, people go their separate ways. But there's a lot of mutual respect between us. I learned a lot from this brother, to tell you the truth. And I know people would consider him controversial because he was. It wasn't an act. He was controversial, right? But he was a brother who, if something was going on that was, I don't know, even kind of important to Black people in Milwaukee, he was on it. Like I've been to the protest with him. You hear me talk about my experience with grassroots organizing, community organizing on the show. And like where I learned it from was running with the Panthers, the original Black Panthers of Milwaukee, and the General. And I got so many stories, man. Like if I ever write a book, Kamar, it would be phenomenal. Like that chapter when I was with the Panthers. But we did a podcast for a very long time. I told you I was doing podcasts in 2014, 2013. Cats didn't even know what it was. When I was rocking with Rick with the Panthers, I did the Panther Power Hour, Kamar. I got to go back and dig up. I got a few of those episodes. And if you listen to it, man, the brother, he was passionate about Black people. He was. And he was brave because, man, we've been in some situations, man, interrupting the common council meetings, going into the county, interrupting meetings, blocking blocking parking lots off. Like he had me on the front lines. Kamar. I learned that shit quick, man. And so that was my brother, man. So rest in peace. And it's one of those things where like people can say what they want, but you know that person, right? So they can say what they want, but they don't really know the brother. Like they don't, because I met a lot of people say, hey man, dude, such and such and such, and then they'd be like, but you know him, right? I seen you on the news with him, Kev. Yes, I was on the news. We was disturbing the common council meeting downtown, and I couldn't believe the amount of police that assembled, probably about 12 feet from us. So on the news, Kamar, he's yelling and interrupting the meeting. I'm looking at the police like, I'm like, what the fuck was you looking at? It's just how we used to roll, man. We used to roll up, man. You know what I'm saying? There was some days, man. So rest in peace, man, to my brother Daryl Farmer, man. You know what I mean? It was always mutual respect. One thing about him is when he and I just said, okay, this is the end of our relationship in this regard. It was one of them things where you go your way, I go mine. Like nobody, and people would hit me like, hey, you should say that. I'm like, man, come on, man. Stop it. I'm not even built like that. We never had that, Kamar. You know what I'm saying? It was just like mutual respect. Like, all right, my brother, blessings. You know what I'm saying? So rest in power, man. Rest in power to that brother. Like I said, I mean, what can I say when I learned so much? Because I was doing a podcast and I had been doing social services and education and all this kind of stuff. I was doing that. And then when the party came back, I said, oh shit, this is my chance. Stop talking about it and go do it, Kamar. And man, about 4 years, man. That's why when people be like, no, you don't be nowhere, you don't do that. I'm like, dude, I've literally done all that shit. We did all that shit. There was no place that we were not, especially in the beginning, man. And we used to walk up, man, in uniform, in formation, and people used to be like applauding, dog, like we was fucking superheroes. That shit used to be crazy, man. Like, oh shit, the Black Panther's here. It was like, man, it was a crazy feeling. Let me go to my chat room. I see Rojo Moore. He said, bro, Shaquila Morrison, how you doing? My sister who was with me in the Panthers. Yes. Shaquila. Shaquila, man. Marsha Smith, she said, rest in peace, Power King. Shaquila said, let's do it. I got stories too. If you was rocking, look, there's a lot of stories, man. There's a lot of stories. Shout out to Dion in the chat room. He said, rest in peace, King Rick. Marsha Smith said, rest in power, King. Malik El Shabazz Alam. He said, I got stories too. I know you do. I almost said your government name. He said, I was the hero, LOL. She said, it's the laugh for me. Yeah, because I mean, like we had, like I'm telling you, man, it was a phenomenal experience. I wouldn't take none of that shit back. And everybody, Kamar, they thought I was losing my mind, right? Like people like, dude, what you mean you a Black Panther? Like, why am I seeing you? I'm going to work. People like, why am I seeing you on the news with some Black Panthers in all black? I'm like, man, I just felt like I had to do it, Kamar. I felt like I couldn't. All the shit I talk about was going on in the community. I couldn't resist the opportunity. And I went early. So I was there. It was older cats there that it was kind of smoking me out. It was crazy, man. Crazy. Rest in peace, man. Daryl Farmer. Yes, sir. Said Malik says, most definitely an experience. Man. Yes. And that's how I get to the point where I'm at now, in which a lot of bullshit just don't stand with me. You know what I mean, Kamar? Because I got to see the inner workings of our city on a lot of levels, like into political offices and understanding how things work with the police and how the neighborhoods, how they patrol the neighborhoods. We got a referendum passed by the county for community restoration centers. That's still on the county's books. They just haven't done anything about it. But yeah, we got that passed. I send people that letter all the time. They say, damn, you was for real, like you was a real activist. Like, yeah, for a minute, right? Come on, for a minute. You know what I'm saying? But that law's still on there. That's what I'm saying. I didn't want to just be the type of person that was always complaining, talking about shit, and then really couldn't, didn't do nothing. I was already doing this professionally, but I wanted to do it on the grassroots level, man. So I learned a lot of shit, man. And it was dope. Malik says one of the best was getting to meet you and your family, Kevin. I appreciate that, man. He's a good brother. He was a good brother. She said, me either. It's part of our histories. We had the show lit. Yeah, man. If I could, now you talking about getting canceled. If I could bring some of them Panther Power Hours, because we was on the radio at first. It was like a new radio station some brothers had. So we was on there at first. And I just said, well, why are we paying to be on here? I got a whole studio in my basement. And then we just went from there. And man, brother used to go in. I was like, damn. He used to say some crazy, some wild shit about the mayor and whoever his enemy was. But I will tell you one thing. We did used to stand up and ride on the Arabs. That is one thing. And we had this viral moment, Kamar, where we went into Gauss when they took over the old Lena's, which was the old Coles on Capitol. And they was selling expired and rotten meat. And we went in there probably about 12 deep, and everybody got a cart and just filled the carts up with expired meat. And that shit went viral, man. Like it was crazy. And then we said, fuck it. We left that one and went down to North Avenue. Same deal. Yeah, man. That shit was crazy, man. He said cancel wasn't the word. Shaquilla said you the GOAT, Kev. Hey, man, he was holding me accountable. Malik said he still got the Gauss video. Yeah, that shit was funny, man. That was fun. It was funny, but it was serious. And then people was mad at us, Kamar. They was like, leave them Arabs alone. Like, leave our, like, that's our store. We like, dude, when we would go into the tobacco, they were selling the K2, the fake marijuana shit that people was dying from. We was going in smoke shops. Yeah, all of it. And that's where the hot spot. Come on, man. Like I don't know. But don't ever believe that there wasn't a lot of sincere passion for the community amongst us. Like whatever he did, whatever Rick did out front it served its purpose because it brought attention. And in the background, we was all like busy bees. None of us was even in it for the glamour or the glitz. We was all trying to work, doing turkey drives, coat drives, backpack drives, just everything kind of drive. Taking kids whose parents had been murdered shopping for Christmas. That shit's viral too. Us in Walmart walking around with the babies at Christmas. I'm telling you, man, people don't know. They don't know a lot of the shit that happened. So it was definitely a time in my life. That's going to definitely be in my book. He said they hated us for making sure the meat was fresh. But let me tell you something. Here's the coolest part. And I say when you protest, Kamar, it's not really about the protest. It's about what happens afterward. I say that, right? We made Gauss get on the radio and apologize to the city of Milwaukee and to the Black Panthers. And we made them pay for a block cleanup. We took 50 kids and they had to pay each kid $20. And we went from 8th and Atkinson all the way down to Lena's or Gauss at the time. I'm sorry. And then we made them barbecue and cook hot dogs and shit and feed the kids. So that was and they was right at I think them Arabs sold that damn store. I think they sold it after like this shit ain't worth it, man. We fuck out of here. Milltown Mikey Davis. What it do, my brother? Neighborhood for sure.
Anybody don't make us feel good, make them feel uncomfortable.
Oh man. And you know it's so funny? Whenever we would go somewhere, right? Like dudes like 6'7", like 300 pounds, right? So somebody would be trying to say something, he'd be like, hey man, shut the fuck up before I slap shit out of you. And I just like oh man. And I see a lot of cats freeze in their boots. Like, hey, I was just trying to say, I'm like, damn, because he did the black dude in Gauss bad. He was trying to take up for him. He did do bad. Shaquilla said my event ideas was amazing. Hey, y'all was on one with the planning. Like we was all over the place, man. Shaquilla was definitely instrumental in that. For sure. She rode with him just like I did. Malik says they lost about 1.5 million behind that protest. I know we made him, we held him accountable. Ruben Anderson, how you doing, my brother? He said, what's good, gentlemen? How you doing? How you doing? Welcome to Outlaw Radio. As Black as Possible is the name of the show tonight. He said they still own it. I thought they sold it. Well, they got right for a little bit. I don't know. It brought a lot of. It was a lot, man. It was a lot. He said Tyrone. Was that dude's name? Tyrone. Mike said, yeah, dude was scared as hell. LOL. It was just funny because I'm a grown man. You a grown man. You ain't gonna just tell me, Kamar, hey man, shut the hell up before I slap the shit out of you, and I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna be like, well, you gonna have to slap me, nigga, like or something. But dude's just like, he went to mumbling. That shit was hilarious. And he was really trying to, hold on, man, hold on. It's crazy. Y'all, welcome to this show, man. Rest in peace to Jason, who was with us, who was here on Outlaw Radio. I met Jason in the Panthers. Rest in peace to the rock and roll preacher, Carl, man. Carl was my guy. Carl loved Outlaw Radio. Carl was calling in every show. I don't care. And shout out to Rick Muhammad, man. Shout out to Chris. Man, I seen all the people, because it was people who came after I left. After I wouldn't say left, but after I kind of stepped back a little bit. But yeah, man, shout out to all. Rest in peace to Cynthia. You're right, Malik. Cynthia, yes, man, crazy. Shakila said Jason is her cousin and then Carl is her uncle. Wow. There we was, all out there, man, all out there doing our thing, man. Yeah, Cynthia was good people, man. She was good people. Ruben says, how we been doing, man? We're good. Like, but how you been doing, man? Ruben is on the road. I love the fact that Ruben presents a lot of content, and it's really about what's going on in the street, but it's from a real, grown man perspective. It's not judgmental. It's not, it's not one of those things that we read and be like, oh, you're trying to talk above my head. So I love what you do with that, Ruben. I love what you do. Jesse Parrish, he said, peace, outlaws from the mile high income and illegal migrant flooded city, now getting deported city, frontline black news. Shout out to you and Shabaka, man. You're right. Hashtag I'm not your enemy. Oh, excuse me. I'm not your enemy. Mike said we just left Hood House. We released a few balloons for the general. Shout out to neighborhood too, man. Shout out to neighborhood. It's always funny when we have Ajamu Butler on, because that was, and I think that he said, I thought it was the first Heel of Hood. When he came on here, Kamar, he said it was like the second one where they were on Keith.
Yeah,
that was the first.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
No, I was agreeing with you.
Okay. That was the first public. Well, I went to a vigil with them first, but I wasn't in uniform. They was just like, okay, come, we'll do this vigil, come check us out. And then after that, I've just jumped in, and that was the first event I did, was the Heel of Hood on Keith Avenue. He said it was Heel of Hood too. Whereas it was some girls got to fighting, man, and I had to disarm one of the girls. She had a shovel finna hit the other girl in the back of the head. And so after that, they was like, oh man, you be on point, you good. So and then it just went on from there. But that was Heel of Hood, man. And neighborhood had the jail cell. He used to have a jail cell that he would bring for young people.
Yep, I remember him and that. I remember that incident.
Oh, was you there that day?
I didn't know. Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I didn't see it happen. You know what I mean? But you know how the word traveled through when they talk about what happened and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was there.
What we was told was we was there for security. So and it was just like, all right, y'all post here, y'all post there, boom, boom, boom. And like I said, the sisters got to scrapping, and we was like, yo. And so we was breaking it up, but I just happened to see one sister go around the back of the apartment and come back, and she had a shovel, and she was creeping, and I grabbed the shovel. She didn't even see me. I creeped up on her. I was like, you ain't finna do that. So I got the shovel. They were like, where the fuck you get a shovel from? I'm like, I just took it from this girl. Shit was crazy, man. It was crazy. Oh man. You're right. Malik said each one left us with a lesson, something to live by. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? I have two brothers who I really got to know, especially Rick and the general, and especially Jason. Me and Jason was a part of Outlaw Radio for real. You know, it's crazy. We're fork in the road, man. Fork in the road. Ruben said, hey man, thank you, bro. That means a lot. No, man, thank you, man. Thank you. He said, what's y'all thoughts on Big U from Rolling 60s and other 60s neighborhood Crips getting Rico? Oh, we gonna get to that. I had to give it up for the general. Shabaka said, check us out on StreamYard. Shaquila said he still be out here with the jail cell. Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Hey, that was from some for real, like crazy. I can't even do it justice. Like I said, when the police was at us in City Hall and we came downstairs and the elevator opened and it's like 30 cameras and press and like, and they're all like, hey, and I'm sitting there like, let me the fuck out of here. I'm like, I gotta get home to my babies. It's crazy, man. But yeah, man, if you've been paying attention to the news, like my brother said, Big U, and I guess several other members of the Rolling 60s Crips have been served a RICO notice. If you don't know who Big U is, I rock with the Podverse. If you don't know who Big U is, he is basically the individual who they say the character Debo in Friday was molded after. I guess this dude was a Crip, huge dude, big dude in the 80s, terrorizing, doing what gang members do, I guess, right? A menacing. And so he had been locked up. He got out of jail. He had these nonprofit organizations. He had all these charities. And they say murder. What is charged? Murder, drug trafficking, sex trafficking, extortion. Well, they said he was using the music.
A lot of people. Yeah, well, a lot of people will say, you know, he played a big part. A lot of people will say he played a big part of Nipsey Hussle's career.
And that hasn't come out yet. What they're saying now is, I guess there was an aspiring rapper.
I mean, I'm saying, but that is a fact.
I know. No, I've heard that. I'm talking about the indictment today, though, the RICO. They haven't mentioned Nipsey yet.
Right.
The murder that he has, is, I guess it was a rapper who was on his label that they're accusing him of. And they said this dude was murdered and thrown on off a highway in Vegas. And they said Big U's DNA was under his fingernails.
I think it's a nigga named 600 something.
Something like that. Now, you got ahead of me a little bit, because what I was about to say was that he has been heavily implicated in the murder of Nipsey Hussle. You beat me to it, right?
Right.
So with all the other stuff, with all the other stuff that they charged him with, I just feel like it's more of a possibility that something will come out that he has something to do with Nipsey. That's all I want to add.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean? I wasn't even alluding to that. I was just talking about his career, about Nipsey Hussle's career. You know what I'm saying? And he had a lot to do with his career. Some of the reason why they fell out. You know what I'm saying? Why him and Nipsey actually fell out anyway. Because Nipsey was trying to break off from him, like, dog, I don't need you. I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? And he was trying to, you know, allegedly, right. You know what I'm saying? But they say he did play a part. You know, he was one of them, Big U was one of them figures in the music business where it was like, if you go to Houston, you know, back in the day, you go to Houston, you got to make a call to John.
Still to this day.
You know what I mean? Hey, man, I'm in your town, man. You know what I'm saying?
Check in.
They make sure you good type shit.
Check in.
Huh?
Check in.
Big U was that nigga for LA. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Big U was the check in motherfucker. That's what you would call.
They saying that's what some of what they said they're saying he ran a mafia-like criminal empire, in which that was part of extortion of rappers now that would come to town and say, yo, you know what I'm saying? So
they say he allegedly used the Rolling 60 to do his moves. You know what I'm saying?
He is a Rolling 60. Yeah, he is.
They run the play.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Give me a second on this.
A couple motherfuckers off that No Jumper podcast. They in the indictment. Brick Baby and Loose Cannon.
Loose Cannon, yeah, both of them
off that podcast. They off into that thing too.
Earl Henning says, "What it do, my brothers? Chocolate milk, love us. Rest in peace to him." This is Malik saying he was implicated on the fact that he knew Nipsey was finna get killed 30 minutes prior to his murder. My aunt L. Bay Booker says Regie Snow. Regie was on the show. She was on here too. She was Lady Snow on here. She's a Brooke Love. She says, I think these are all the Panthers she was in that were there. He said exactly, Kamar. Jesse is agreeing with you. So no jumper podcast equals feds. Well, that's where I was going because there's this, and if you're not in the podverse, like you probably aren't aware of this, and it's not like a lot of this is, because we do socio-political stuff on here, so a lot of this stuff is just the internet, but it's also a cultural thing for me where I've seen for a long time where gang members, individuals who've been to prison or who have done murders, who have cases, how many of these dudes have fallen to their doom fucking with YouTube, be it Vlad or No Jumper, or where they, and I'm just, as a dude who used to move around with some street dudes, I'm a little nervous when they get to talking like that so loosely, and I'm always like, dude, so this internet shit with this gangster shit with this gang member shit has gone crazy. And so this dude got his face out here. He's famous, but he's a face. He's a fixture in the entertainment business. And y'all, he's tried to tone it down over the last few years. But this is what comes back. They say the murders from 2021. Jesse Paris says, no jumper, DJ Vlad, Milk 74 equal FBI equals feds. Yeah, but I mean, they might be, but I don't understand why cats, like, when I hear, like, I see Jim Jones. I see Jim Jones with his blood stuff. Being a blood is just like being in a fraternity. What's the difference? It's the same thing. I'm like, what's up with this shit?
Right. I was just finna say, man, like, I don't think it's so much DJ Vlad, the person, or Adam 22 on No Jumper. It's more them just coming online and start talking about what be going on and shit. You know what I mean? It's like back in the day, I remember when I used to rap and shit, and the motherfuckers that's famous, they'll tell you shit like, you got to pick a side. You can't do both. You can't be a rapper and do the street shit. It's going to catch up to you somehow. You know what I mean? You're going to wind up catching the case. One of these niggas going to come rob you. Something going to happen. Well, it's the same shit with this podcast shit. You can't come on here talking about different shit and not get implicated in shit. You know what I mean? Just a simple knowledge of knowing about something that happened, you know what I mean, implicates you in that crime.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
but
when you talking about you on the internet, they picking.
I'm listening.
Say what?
I'm listening to you.
No, I was finna say, you know what I mean? They the feds, they hustling off the internet, off of Facebook and shit. You know what I mean? They looking for people to go dig into. You know what I'm saying? And if you know some of the same people, shit, we know how that go. You know what I mean? If you know the people they looking for, you know them real good. You from the same set. You know what I'm saying? They know to look at you, and you implicate yourself, especially by talking about it. It's one of the reasons why they tell you don't say shit when the feds come get you.
So, okay, so
because you talk, you know what I mean, and you implicate yourself.
But yeah, my thing is that. But so that's what I'm saying. If I listen to Vlad. I blame Vlad because Vlad is a genius at what he does. He stirs the pot, Kamar. He targets people and then he builds like that. If you watch his interviewing style, like you'll see him try to stir beef between two individuals. Like, oh, you and him, y'all had a fight, right? Oh, he slapped your baby mama, right? And you'd be like, well, yeah, that's intentional. That's why cats who do go on there play themselves. We go all the way back to, people don't even remember this dude now. It was a dude from Philadelphia named A.R. Ab. And he was supposedly a rapper, and they had a rap label, and they was doing big things out of Philly, and he was on all of. And this dude came on Vlad and told all. I remember watching it like, yo ass going to jail. He been in prison for about 10 years now. This was early Vlad. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's happened to so many when it comes to the street shit. When it comes to street shit, this shit should not be. This shit shouldn't be on the internet like that. I do blame Vlad because Vlad is a culture vulture. And if you listen at him, he's a smart mouth. He's a smart mouth, snarky little white boy.
Right. Okay. I'm just saying, like, okay, he got a podcast. He do interviews. You know what I mean? The better the interview, the better the views, depending on who it is. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I blame him for exploiting shit. You know what I mean? But actually, we gotta blame the people that's doing the interview because they actually giving the information. Nigga, this is you coming on here talking about what you did. You agreed to come answer these questions. And it's like you agreeing to an interrogation.
No doubt, but he still is what he is. He's still a culture vulture, though, and he's. I mean, let's be honest. The media has always figured out a way to manipulate us. Like, look at the images of us that have been portrayed. So there are a lot of individuals to blame who only deserve whatever heat they get. They only should blame themselves. But you cannot deny that the fact that when you went on Vlad is when the tables turned. Because you was cruising. Then you took your ass on Vlad. And Adam 22 is a pervert. I don't even know why I like this dude. Like, this is crazy. With even I don't even know how he got with black people. He's a super culture vulture, and he don't even give a shit about it. Oh my God. Dude is married to a porn star, man. Like, he do all kinds of stuff, man. Bring dudes into the studio and let him have sex with his wife and all this. And I'm like, how we get hooked up with this dude, Whack 100? And that's what people are blaming for Big U. They said Whack 100 is to blame. Earl Henny said federal everywhere. Jesse Parrish said keep gang politics off the internet. I agree. Why would I don't know how this became a cottage industry. Let's be gang members. I feel weird when I hear we just mainstream Crip and Blood. We just mainstream, Vice Lord and GD. Like, these things are name brands now. Them shit wasn't name brands when I was young. A said these white motherfuckers be trying to exploit the gang's ignorance. Now what happened on No Jumper? Well, Loose Cannon was just beating up somebody on No Jumper, right? Like, said Kamar's right. They would use what you post in social media against you. Malik says most definitely.
Yeah, like, it's like the OGs tell you to shut the fuck up. Hey, it's like if the OGs tell you to shut the fuck up, nigga, you supposed to shut the fuck up.
He said he remembers ARAB, and he most definitely went. Oh, he been in federal prison for a long time. Said shout out to Mac 10. This is Jesse Parrish. He said shout out to Mac 10. He kept his mouth closed about gang politics. That's what I'm saying. There's been some smart people on there, Kamar, some of his guests, that he'll ask them these kinds of these fugazi questions, and they'll be like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man. And he'll laugh like, oh, just gotta ask.
Like I'm glad they use Mac 10 as an example, right? Because back in the day, like, you knew he was a blood, but you ain't know which set he was from. You knew he was a blood because he wore red. You know what I mean? Ice Cube, we knew he was a Crip, but we didn't know which set he was from. We just knew he wore blue. You know what I'm saying? Like, back then, they didn't do so much. They didn't put out there.
Okay.
You know? They didn't talk about the culture so much.
It was
but now they do. It's all out here. We know about the neighborhoods.
Nobody was saying that shit back then.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
if Vlad is an untouchable, a lot of people ain't fucking with Vlad. There are some people. There's a movement. I stopped really messing with Vlad with the whole Farrakhan the Minister Farrakhan thing. He basically lied on Minister Farrakhan and then refused to apologize. And that's why I really was like, nah, I'm cool. But he will have some people on there. I will listen to a Vlad interview because he has people on there. And sometimes it ain't always gang members. It might just be some actor who was in a movie you love that you ain't seen in 30 years, and he'll interview him. So in that regard, that's how he gets. That's why black people fuck with him. They don't look at it like he's a culture vulture. Jesse said it's like that Twisted song, Unsolved Mysteries. You don't say shit. They don't know shit. Well, I'm going to tell you something. When the feds come get you, usually they already know. I mean, you could play that. I mean, I was always told the best thing to do, and this is what, like you was talking about what OGs told you. I was always told, hey man, you don't have to say nothing. The first thing they tell you is you got the right to remain silent. And if you don't have a lawyer, they'll get one for you. They also say anything you say from this point on will be held against you. So if you go down there, I don't care if they say, hey man,
can and it will.
All you gotta do is say, I just want my lawyer.
It can and it will.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man.
I repeat, it can and it will.
These motherfuckers, it will, right. It will be held against your ass. And you be done forgot about it and they bring it up in court. Is it true when you were first apprehended, you said, fuck all these white people? I forgot I said that shit out of
right. Straight up.
I forgot.
Now you racist.
I said that.
Now you racist. Now you racist in court.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We got callers. Caller, you live on Outlaw Radio. What's going on?
What's up, man? I called in about maybe 2 months ago. I'm Chaotic Truth.
I think I might remember you.
Yeah, man. So you so I don't know what you guys are talking about, man, but I had called in and we got into I think we were talking about maybe Trump or something. But anyway,
man, you had me laughing, but you had the rest of my people pissed off. I remember you. What's going on?
Oh yeah,
I remember your ass. What's going on? What's happening?
All right, nothing much. I saw that you were live. I just finished the live stream. You said as black as possible. So what is this live stream about?
Well, this is Outlaw Radio, so this show is about black people shit. And we talk whatever's pertinent to black people. That is kind of a theme, black as possible. I haven't gotten to that part yet where I explained it, but there's a thematic flavor to the show on Wednesday. So this one just happens to be called As Black as Possible.
As Black as Possible. Okay.
Right.
So maybe I should call it a little later, or because I got
ain't no time like right now. We can roll into that. That's cool. Why did I call the show that? Because I think it's first of all, I'm a delineator, so I'm a foundational black American. Right. So
me too.
My primary concern over any and everything is the health and wealth of foundational black American people. And I think we must embrace who we are. I think we must love who we are. And I think we need to stay on code with what we need to do and how we need to move and be united. And it might be wishful thinking for some people, but I think unity starts in the brain more often than not. It ain't about holding hands. It's about sharing thoughts. So when I say black as possible, when I am encountered with any situation, no matter what it is, I'm going to remain as black as possible. I'm not code switching. I'm not betraying my people. I'm not out here doing the overlay for the underplay. We do our best to make sure all the information that's disseminated on my platform is pure and true and factual as possible. And we encourage people to research the researcher. So we don't tell you what to think. We just want you to think. And a lot of times people will call in and say, hey, this, that, and the third about what you said. And there's an expansion of thought and an expansion of understanding. So I don't know if I explained that clearly or not, but that kind of explains why I call it that. That's the thing.
You're good. So when I think as black as possible, think of a movement, right? A movement, something that are identifiers of blackness, right? So there's a community called the Zamit community that is arising, and I had a gentleman on my panel. His name is Comey, and he's arguing the fact that maybe black people should focus more on you know how there's this thing about, particularly black Americans, we lead with entertainment or music. He's arguing that maybe black people should focus more on, listen, we need to develop WMDs, you know, weapons of mass destruction or nuclear weapons and rockets and shit like that. So maybe that should be the next phase or the moving phase in blackness, you know, being able to say, hey, for example, right? So you say you're FBA. Could you imagine if the blacks in Rosewood or what was the other place that was bombed? Jesus Christ. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Could you imagine if those places, they had the ability to protect themselves at a large scale? So when we think as black as possible, maybe this should be a movement for the future. Like maybe we should incorporate more futurism or future technologies or defense mechanisms, and maybe that should be at the pinnacle of black culture.
Let me
sure,
ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Chat room, I'm gonna get to y'all. I don't want y'all to think I'm forgetting about y'all. I'm gonna get to my chat room. But check this out. So you mentioned instead of I love this adage about athletics. And people say, because I've even heard Charleston White say, what have we done in the last 50 years besides sports?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, you got to understand that athletes are entertainers, correct? Wherever they go,
I would argue, yes.
They're entertainers. Yeah. Wherever they go, they command the attention of the mass media, correct?
Yeah.
Now, black microbiologists, black electricians, black attorneys, black mathematicians, black college professors, black PhDs don't get the same kind of attention, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I said all that to say is, who said we're not already on that level? Just because it's a surface understanding if you think it's only about black athletes. Because the reality is you have a better chance of winning the lottery than being a professional athlete. You look at the NFL, if they have 5,000 players, and 80% are black, and they probably have more, so I don't know. I don't want people to say, oh, it's more than 5,000. Okay. But 80% of the league, 90% of the league is black. So even just
4,000 are black.
So that's just if it's 43 million black people in this country, and you're saying, well, I'm gonna focus on the 5,000 that got NFL jobs. Yeah. That's just a snapshot. It's not even an accurate portrayal or picture of who we actually are, because I'm a black PhD myself. Right?
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, so, and I know many who were in my cohort and many who preceded me into this. So for anybody to say, well, we need to get on this. We don't need to be more than sports. First of all, we can't take sports out, because sports allows a lot of us opportunities. Either it's an opportunity to get an education, or if you do go pro, you change your whole family's trajectory financially if you do it the right way, which creates generational wealth. So, I just think, I don't want, that's why I say as black as possible. I want to think about what's best for us. I'm not even thinking about, oh, well, I got to go tell people what they need to do. We're already doing everything we need to do. What else do we need to do besides unify?
Well, I like what you said, but what about the whole, and trust me, I get what you said, but what about if we became nuclear?
So you're talking about the establishment of a sovereign nation that arms themselves with nuclear weapons? Because if you're trying to say there's no black like biochemists and people there's black army personnel, professors, doctors who develop these weapons. Well, if that's your focus, if you want to eventually see, my thing is, I said we got the choice between 3 S's. One is sovereignty, one is separatism, and the other one is solidarity. We are not ready for sovereignty at this point. We're not ready. Economically, we're not ready. Culturally, we're not ready. We're not independent economically enough for separatism. The only S you can choose is solidarity, which means we need to get together. So if you want to say, well, let's be sovereign and start a nation and have our own nuclear weapons, that's about a 200-year program, ain't it? That ain't gonna happen in the next 20 to 50 years, is it? I don't know. You tell me. Let me get my chat room for you respond.
Yeah,
because my chat room is in here with me. Malik says loose lips sink ships. When we're talking about the perpetuation of this gangster street dude, gang member, bang bang culture. You see what we watching? Power and these drug BMF. We love the anti-hero. That's where we're programmed at. And so this shit becomes popular to talk about on the internet like it's just free. No, this ain't no movie. This real shit. And the feds is listening. Let me see. He said Jim Jones comparison to frats. I can see the similarities and the difference in his comparison. Well, I think it was an asinine comparison because you're only comparing them because they're both hierarchical organizations. But the reality is your probability of committing some counterproductive behavior upon your own community shoots way higher when you join the Bloods than it does when you join a Mega Psi Chi. or whatever, Omega Psi Phi. And people say, well, Kev, people die in hazing all the time. Let's keep score. Like, let's see. Come on, man. If you're, you know who would say that? A blood would say that. It's just like you being in the frat. You have fraternities and sororities, regardless of how you feel about the Divine Nine, that are dedicated to community service. They are actively on the front lines doing more than you probably are while you criticize them. So that was that was a silly ass comparison that he made. Shabak, I got you in a minute. Obviously, the phone is open because I didn't see when you called. I seen when his brother called. Earl said federal everywhere. Okay, we had that. We got Ace Cooley. He said these motherfuckers is trying to exploit the white motherfuckers be trying to exploit the gang's ignorance. Shabaka says Kamar is right. They would use what you post. Okay, I got all that, Kamar. So I ain't far from I ain't you know. Okay. This is Jesse Perry said, shout out to Mac 10. I got that. Agent Vlad is a culture vulture. I'm almost done, y'all. I'm almost done. Earl Henning says some people will kill themselves without killing themselves. Malik said his favorite Crip was Eazy-E. LOL. The craziest thing about Eazy-E is he never said Crip on not one song. Maybe he did later on, but when he never said Crip, he never said it on no song. It was insinuated.
And that's hey, look, and that's the point I was making earlier. You know what I'm saying? Like, they gang bang back then, but you know what I mean? They didn't just put it out there on Front Street. Like, they didn't tell you all the who was running the set and shit. You know what I'm saying? Who's calling the shots and shit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You just seen the colors.
Well, Banging on Wax came out. That was the first time I heard them naming off all the gangs. I was like, oh, wow. Jesse Perry said, right, Kamar, but a lot of the OGs is dead or locked up. So ain't nobody around to tell the Tiny Lokes and YGs to shut the fuck up. Malik said, I stopped messing with Vlad after the Boosie interviews. Said Fed's conviction rate is 98.2% overall. That's why I said when they come to you, they know what they're looking for. Kamar said that again. He says, say that again. It can and will. We said it can and will be held against you, right? It will be held against your ass. Ace Cooley said, at this point, I hope we realize that we have no allies. We have some cool individuals, but collectively, it's everybody against us, he said. Jesse said it can. He said it can and will be used against you in a court of law. Yes, it will. Shut your ass up. Just say nothing to anybody. I don't know. I had some homies before getting apprehended, and they, for whatever reason, want to get real talkative when the police was on them. Hey, Kev, man, you see this bullshit? Man, don't say my name. Don't say my name, man. What are you doing? They got us, cuz. No, they don't. They got you. Turn your background down. Whoever, this Dion, you got to turn that down, boss.
Oh, man, Kev. We're going to have to get you some more equipment. What's going on?
You're going to have to turn your shit down in the background when you call. My shit is prime and premium. What are you talking about?
It shouldn't pick up no background. But you know what? I got some different headphones on.
Well, no, if you understand how this works, you can call any show. All right, my brother. You can call any show.
I ain't got the trucker. I ain't got the trucker Bluetooth on.
You need to get a new laptop. Any show you get on, if you have your radio up in the background, they're going to tell you turn it down because it creates interference. I don't know what you're talking about. Get some better equipment.
Yeah, but these headphones will pick up my dog five. Like, I used to be with the trucker Bluetooth. I had a window down, Ryan, goddamn, and you ain't hear nothing. But what's happening, man? I seen my nigga Bull today. He was like, man, I ain't know that was. I said, man, I've been saying for the past week that I'm working with the sanitation company, man. I ain't seen me in all that yellow. I was about to cramp up, though, man. I be having them bad Charlie horses and shit. I was, man, listen, man, my motherfucking leg, man, I was about to clean the fuck up, man, on the rail.
Drink some water.
This nigga was walking old as a motherfucker.
Yeah, it's the way I got out the truck. You know, you motherfucking sanitation trucks ain't comfortable, man. That motherfucker will knock your spine out of alignment. On the rim. It will, though.
Oh, man.
It will knock your spine out of alignment, but other than that, though, shit.
Give me a second, Dion. Let me catch this chat room because it's crazy. The Chaotic Truth is a tether troll. He's been beefing with the FBA, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know who he is. He calls into Tariq. I don't. If you own some other shit, I just don't pay you no attention. Like, ain't no need for me to even figure out who you is. Said Donald Trump free. What we got here? He said, we just here to make you think. That's what we try to do, man. It ain't always the easiest thing to do. We just want people to think. We don't try to tell them what to think. Just think about it, man. Just think about it. Malik says, let me know when I can call in. Hey, man, the phone line is open, man. The phone line is open. I'm taking calls right now. This is Paris. He said, get together and do.
Is that all? Look at old girl back, man. She a greasy man, too.
Hold on. Let me finish the chat room, Dion. He said, get together and do what we need to do to be constructive and productive, whatever we do then. Earl Henny says, sports is freedom. Okay. Said, Crip Easy E. I don't know what that means. Earl Henny said 58 by times 32 NFL players. Okay. You got me with math, Earl. I ain't feeling like carrying the two.
It didn't
said a few of his songs he did mention Kelly Park Crip. It said Banging on Wax is old school now. Yeah, that's very old. It's 32 years old. Roger Zeldine, what to do, West Side? He said in LA where you live, lets me know where you from. You don't have to say it. Where you live, let me know where you from. You don't have to say where you from. Said Crip in peace. Okay, yes. There we go. Prime and Premium. This is Malik. Shout out to Malik. Courtney, Juice Lady is in the building. I haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm well. Y'all know I'll be kind of occupied with school and children and school and then things. The boy is about to graduate. He decided on North Carolina A&T. So
okay, then.
Planning for college and all
congratulations.
Thank you.
Shout out to him. It's a different world. He going to one of them Negro colleges.
He is, ain't he? I know.
He don't know how to step good when he graduate. You know I be hating on HBCUs. I'm sorry.
Don't be hating, girl.
All he learned how to do is step. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I hate him. I have a personal beef with HBCUs. Then they told me where I went is called a PWI, a predominantly white institution. I was calling it a HWCU, a historically white college or university. My daughter said, no, Dad, it's a PWI.
Oh my God. Kev, now this name Daryl Farmer it seems very familiar now.
You just missed the whole front end of the show. So, Daryl Farmer should be familiar because he was the leader of the original Black Panther Party of Milwaukee.
All right.
Which was an extension of the Black Panther Militia from Brother Mike McGee Sr., who actually a lot of people don't know was part of the charter, the original charter. He was part of getting the charter back for the Black Panther Party in the 70s, the National Party. Because people don't know, in order to have a Panther chapter in your city, you had to have a charter from Oakland. So Milwaukee got a charter. They were disbanded. Charter was taken. Brother Mike McGee Sr. came and got it back, got everything in line and got it back. And so this is why the name was the original Black Panthers of Milwaukee, because he was a descendant. He had been in that militia. Somebody got something up in the background. I'm getting a echo. I don't know. Is that
a boy on the phone?
I don't know. I don't know who it is. I can just hear it. It's gonna come through these headphones. But no, he was the leader of the Black Panther Party here, the latest incarnation. And I was with the Panthers for like 4 years. So yeah, so that was the general. So passed on, as they say. He went to the ancestors today.
He went yes, to the upper room. There we go.
Yeah, man. To that big march in the sky.
Yeah.
Jesse says, "Hey, Juice Lady."
Hey.
Earl Henny said, "Education is the key to success in life."
Yes.
Said Daryl Farmer, my revolutionary dad, was one of the founders of the Denver chapter. Kev and Lauren Watson. Okay. Yeah, I did the research on the Panthers in Milwaukee a very long time ago. When I first started rocking with the Panthers, I wanted to know what was, and it's out there. I don't know if they've taken it down. I'd let you read it for yourself about, what actually transpired between with the Milwaukee Panthers in the 60s. So yeah, that's Daryl Farmer.
What's the difference between the Panthers and then we have a Guardian Angels here? Because I've seen the guys on the South Side with the red brims, and they had, the red brim hats and shit. You know what I'm saying?
From my understanding, the Guardian Angels were a derivative of a New York-based organization that had basically gone out into the subways and into the streets because it was so unsafe. And I guess they were supposed to be protectors. So they were supposed to be here. And then they ended up, there were some here. They just had the t-shirts on and the bandanas, the red bandanas. But it went away. Whew, it went away. I don't know if it was pistols that made it go away, but there was some scandal with the dude who started it, I believe, out east in New York. It was, but that's who the Guardian Angels were. But everything is, when people now, and shout out to Mike Payne in Virginia, who has now continue the original Black Panther Party. Shout out to him. But there's always derivatives, and there's people don't understand, like they all have now different kind of ideologies and methodologies, but it's all usually based on what happened in Oakland with Huey P. Newton and my man, how can I forget Bobby Seale? So yeah. Now I just have is this Malik on the line?
Hell yeah, what's going on, man?
What up, man? I keep almost saying your government name. What's going on, man?
Man, they know who I am. Shit, James, Malik, it's the same nigga.
What's going on, man?
Man, first of all, let's say, man, rest in peace to King Rick, Pastor Carl, Cynthia, Jason.
Yes.
I don't know if you knew Brother Dwayne passed away like a year or two ago, too.
I met him. Yes, I did get a chance to meet him. Yeah, I did.
And then just about, just rest in peace to him, man. At one point in time, I was the youngest member of the Panther Party for like the last, 3-4 years we was together?
Yeah, I remember. I was there, remember? I remember.
Man, and the crazy part is, man, fighting for the community, man, you find yourself fighting more of your people than you do fighting for the people, man.
That is very true. And that's the frustrating part of any kind of like grassroots activism, is that you do get pushback from your own people, and you be like, 2 steps forward and 3 steps backward. Where I started to get frustrated is when we would go somewhere and like, really what you're doing is you're putting your ass on the line out here fucking these police and who knows what, we in these communities and doing all this stuff. And then when I get home and turn on the news, and it's bedlam in the community, murder. I was like, damn, we was just over there, another robbery. So it just got frustrating for me. I'm like, look, man,
that's kind of what made me fall back. It's like, shit, you fighting a fight, you can't get a good punch. If you get a punch, and you got 2 in your back.
Yeah,
2 in the back for the 2 you trying to protect, man.
Yeah, man, when you got situations where you have Arab grocers who assault a mentally ill elderly Black man and beat him down.
Prime example, that was in the back of my head.
And you protest in the store, and the Black people there are coming up to you mad at you. Talking about, leave our Arabs alone, man. Get up out of here, man. Y'all stop. Y'all get out of here. Don't nobody. Yeah. So, I had to. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking about, man. The action day, man. Motherfucker, we fighting, y'all beating up this old man, but yet y'all cool with motherfucker treating y'all like shit because y'all getting free whatever on food stamps, cigarette, liquor, beer, whatever.
Yeah. And that's what I was talking about with the whole Gauss thing, when we went and found just the carts and carts of expired meat. Some of this shit was like green. It was like green with like mold on it, and it was still out. And we just went and got carts and carts of meat and pushed it up to the front of the store. The shit, it was bananas. It was crazy. But Black people was mad at us.
I get people that coming on video. To this day, I still get people that coming on that video.
Really? I haven't seen that video in a long time, but for a minute,
I might have to bring it back as a tribute.
It was hilarious. It was hilarious. And I'm on there with like 2 big ass packs of meat in my hand. Like, what? Look at the date on it. Look at the date.
You talking about the real?
Yeah, man. It's crazy, man. Rest in peace, man, to the general, man. People say what they want. I was there. Yeah. No matter what happened, I know his intentions was sincere. I know he really wanted to see some traction in the community. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely. I do enjoy them years. I look back on them, man. It did play a big part in my life. Lord willing, I'll be 30 in June, so I take heed of all that. The older men that looked out for me, like you, the general, Pastor Carl, Brother Jason, all of them. Like, as a young man looking up and being in the community, I looked up to that kind of stuff. And like Kamar said, the OG, they said, sit down, shut the fuck up. You think I didn't listen? Shit, I sat down, shut the fuck up with good posture. Like, yes, sir. You might even got a salute from me, but yeah, man, it's just, man, crazy world out here.
Yeah, man. But it's the season, right? You born dying, basically. Everybody got a date, right? We all, and You don't want to, when you're young, you don't think about mortality until once you hit 45, you say, oh shit. Once you hit 40.
About mortality when I was 12. My first friend died at 13.
Yeah, but you see it, but you don't start thinking about, well, maybe you did, but as a kid, I seen it. I knew what it was, but I wasn't thinking about my own time, like the day when I go. You always gonna say I could get killed tonight in that regard, but I'm saying you start thinking about like, man, I ain't got that much. How much time do I actually got left? That's what I mean when I say
2008 black uniform. I was thinking like that special on Atkinson days. Like, goddamn.
Well, I came up on Atkinson, so I was always straight. I wasn't even worried.
Okay, that's your area. You know, I'm a tennis street player.
Yeah, see now when we was down there is when you seen my antennas up. You notice if we that's when I've been like, shit.
Hold on. Do you remember the time you was on the church with rest in peace to Shonda Payne? You remember that time you went to the church right now on 26th and Cordy?
Are you seriously asking me, do I remember that shit? I do remember it very well. Yes, there was a lot of guns.
I think you was on point. You grabbed her head.
That was one of the things, like, where he say, okay, they after me, Kev, take everybody over to the church. So you in charge, take her. I'm like, what? We go over to this church and this shit's a setup and motherfuckers coming out of everywhere with guns. I'm talking about straight waving shotgun. I'm like moving the shotgun out of my face. Like, dude, are you serious? Like, man.
And let me tell you, I'm right there with him. Can't move that gun so gracefully. I was like, hey, come on, man. Like, hold on. I'm kind of nervous too. I'm a young cat at that time. Like, hold on.
You can't be pointing that goddamn gun in my face. I had to move it.
Kindly put his hand and move that gun. So like, listen here, lady. We ain't here for none of that.
Well, see, it was just bullshit. But it was just what was going on, man. And I'm glad that shit died down too, because that shit was stupid. But yeah, that was
on both our ends.
That's one of them stories. That's one of them stories that I tell people and they probably be like, he lying. Like, nah, I wish I was lying, because she was on a documentary. Rest in peace to that sister. Probably about, I don't know, a year later, and she remember that she went viral. She had guns all in the bathtub, in the bathroom. Yeah.
One on the titty too. Like, the one on the titty had me most scared. Shit.
Oh, me and her met face to face. She was like, "Yeah,
I remember.
Brother, what's happening?"
I remember.
Like, oh, wait a minute.
Man, she's like, I ain't no Black Panther. I ain't this. I'm a vice lord. Like, okay, shit. All right. All is well.
I think we might have had one pistol. I was like, we got to get the fuck out of here.
No, we had two.
they had like 12. Like, shit. Some of us had AR-15s. It was wild, man. It was wild. But
all outside of the church. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, man. God was truly working that night. That nobody got hurt. So yeah,
take all them in counter, man. And when I move forward in life, I think about all that to keep me pushing forward, man. So I do thank Ken Riff for allowing me be part of the Panthers, getting to meet you. Chiquila has been one of my day ones since I first started the Panthers. So me and her ain't going nowhere. I know she's still in the chat room. Me and her can tell you some stories too. We might get a whole Panther reason again or something. Panther Power Hour again on that one.
I don't think there's anybody who was involved with a lot of the shit we was doing that don't have, because everybody experienced it from a different perspective. So I'm pretty sure everybody's version of the stories is like different. Like, and there was some times that I wasn't there, and so I'd get a call and be like, "Hey, da 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 da." Like, oh shit, okay. I had to go. Man. To go up to the club and they got me surrounded. Come get me. And that's what shout out to Westside Zeladon. He's in the chat room. That's when, and people didn't even know that all these dudes was here, that they was outside. Like, I had Kamar, I'm talking about, like, you ever went somewhere and you didn't know you had backup there, but you just went there. And I looked around and I'm like, oh, and nobody else knew. I'm like, damn, they 5 cars deep. And I know they all crazy. Trust me. These were individuals who was crazy. And I was like, oh, man,
very crazy.
This shit could get crazy. This shit could get, it could have got mental. Shout out to Zeladon, man. Because them dudes is wild, man. Man, I hope you're doing good, man. And God bless, man. You still young. You keep the fire going. That's what's happening.
Oh, yeah, man, because like I said, there's some things I took from that Panther part I still use to this day. And I've been getting my way. I might not be big Panther, but, I make some noise.
And he said he 30. God damn, I ain't seen 30 in 20 years. That's how old I am. Shit.
Damn.
I will be 30 in June. I can't wait.
Godly. I got shoes older
Thanks for
than
allowing
you.
me calling into the show too, man. Oh, you got some shoes? Let's sell them then.
They older than you. You wouldn't want them.
Let's go put them on sale. We can get us some paper around here.
Old Jordans,
man. Like dollars.
Yeah, man.
You know,
hey, man, I appreciate you always, man. No doubt.
Love to you too, man. Thanks to you and Kamar and everybody on the show, man. I just had to call in and say that, man. Y'all was a big part of me these last 7-8 years of my life.
Appreciate it, man. I wasn't doing it for no medal or no credit or nothing. I'm just like, hey, man, this is this youngster. He the baby of the bunch. We got to look out for him. You got to make sure he's straight. And so, but you wasn't even hard. You wasn't hard to. It was just like because you was always watching. So you was cool, like, oh, okay. Now, Shaquilla was a little bit different because Shaquilla cut your ass out.
Hey, listen, for real, man, it'd be funny to me, too. Everybody's come at me at the school like, how you a security guard and you the smallest nigga in the group? Shit, I can do some things now.
Yeah, man. There's plenty of people who deserve credit for that sacrifice. But peace to you, man.
I'm going to go ahead and let somebody else call in, too, man.
I got you, my
love
brother.
to you and your family, Kamar, and I think her name Courtney, right? Love
Courtney, yeah, that's the Jewish lady.
Yes.
So he can step, and make sure you get fried some chicken too. That's all they learn at HBUs around here.
Don't get that. Congratulations to her son, man.
Thank you.
Now, Courtney, I had to ask you. All right, my brother. All right, James.
Well, you want to talk about Costa Rica, ayahuasca?
That's where I was going because I'm saying you went to do Hiawatha down in Great America. So what happened now?
Man, it wasn't the best, man. I feel like that shit was fool-fool. I'm gonna try it again in Colombia somewhere in Puerto Rico or something. They ain't do all the steps that I've been seeing on numerous ceremonies. But I went to Costa Rica for my birthday. It was a birthday trip. I should have went to Colombia. It wasn't the best. I would give that trip like a D. It wasn't the best. The food wasn't good. There was no salt. There was no salt in Costa Rica on nothing. Oh my gosh, it lacked so much flavor in Costa Rica. I didn't have a good time, no.
Damn, I thought you was gonna come on because your pictures and your videos was like,
oh, it was a cool place, but I could have went like to Atlanta. I feel like I would have had a better time like in Atlanta or something. Like me and my son finna go to New York next month because that's where he want to go for his senior trip, and then we're gonna drive to Philly. I bet I'm gonna have more fun doing that than what I did in Costa Rica. I know I am.
Oh wow, that's crazy because I'm not a traveler, so I wouldn't go to Costa Rica anyways.
No.
I damn sure wouldn't do no ayahuasca down there. I don't trust I just can't trust that shit. I that's not,
Where would you do it at, Kev? It's not in Milwaukee.
Ayahuasca, at this point, I'm a little too old to ayahuasca. I don't.
They put a worm in your food, Courtney. You gonna have a worm in your brain.
Oh my God. Oh my, what is wrong?
You said they put
one down and you dealing with all that deep trauma, Kev. You dealing with that shit. That's what it is. You don't want to deal with none of that. You like right.
I'm
Some
old. I've dealt with all of this shit for years. Like I've been living with this. I've been living with Kev for 49 years. Mm-hmm. I don't need to drink or do anything hallucinogenic or any drug. Like a couple beers in a bowl, I'll get to deep thinking. I don't need out of body experiences. Like, no, I don't. And like I said, at this point, I'm just not a person who's going to experiment with shit. Like I just can't.
Yeah, that's dope fiend. That's flash on them. Like, yeah, you might as well pop you a perk and drink you some syrup. You have all the out of body experiences you want to. Then, like, what type of drug addict is you?
Once again, these aren't out of body experiences. Just because Kev said that don't mean
you will have an out of body experience.
Well, hold on, tell us what it is.
Then, outer body. How you gonna tell me what it is and you don't know what it is?
That's what I'm saying. What I'm asking what it is because I went off what Aaron Rodgers was saying about it. So what is it exactly? What's the whole process?
I've done shrooms or done this. None of it is an outer body experience. You going inside yourself more than anything. You're not going out. You're not hallucinating. You're not seeing bunnies and rabbits and shit. You dealing with yourself.
I hear you say.
A lot of times I hear white people say that type of stuff. I've never experienced. I know, and most black people I know have never said they seen that weird shit the white folks say.
But you're saying you're dealing you in yourself. Like what? That's specifically how.
So we're gonna say, let's say you got some traumas. A lot of people go to deal with traumas, to deal with depression, deal with the issues within themselves, or to find their purpose. It's a lot of parts of ourselves that we lock away from ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So you are going to meet them different parts of yourselves that you really don't be fucking with, or that you be hiding from yourself.
So meeting myself
Yeah.
Me sitting there talking to myself.
You're not talking to yourself, Kev. What do you?
I'm asking. I'm
I don't know.
asking.
I don't know. Some people might. Some people might talk to themselves.
But based on what you just said, you're dealing with yourself. So I don't know how that. I'm
I mean,
sitting here. I'm thinking. Am I
that,
talking? Is it just visions? What is it?
you could be. I mean, because on the regular, you might talk out loud in your garage. So you might. Shit, you might talk to yourself out loud at home. So you might.
Okay, I'm sober when I do that.
Hey, Kev.
Right. So
Hey, dig this. It's as simple as this, right? It's as simple as this. Like, you know how you sit down and you think to yourself and figure out a problem? You know what I mean? You got something you're dealing with. You sit and think for a minute and figure it out. That's what it is. Only difference is you're talking about the different traumas you may have been through. You may have dealt with a long time ago, maybe. You know what I mean? And different shit while you sitting and thinking, different, deeper shit come up for you to sit and try to unpack. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what it is. It ain't like no outer body experience or like they say getting to know yourself because you going back and learning different parts that, you know what I mean? You was like, well, damn, I ain't know I was fucked up like that. You know what I'm saying? So you getting to know that part that you didn't know about where you was fucked up. Or you know what I'm saying? Or something like that. It ain't that damn deep. You know what I'm saying? You just figuring shit out in yourself.
They make it sound. And this is, I don't know. So I'm asking. But to me, from what you just described, that sounds like a psychedelic experience, though. If I'm going deep into my head on that level, that's how you don't normally do that unless you are really drunk or really high.
And I guess it's deeper than that. Not like high or drunk conversation with yourself. And like I said, I don't know what it's like for white folks. White folks, they say they see a lot of different things and hallucinate different things. And black people,
not like us. Not like us.
Right. You know what I'm saying? We don't experience that too much. I don't know. It might be our
could you actively function under the influence of this stuff? Could you like drive a car and just be
No, I think it would be like being it depends, because some people could be on shrooms and shit and they could drive. Me personally, I don't. So no, I wouldn't, but somebody else could. And that's a personal thing. But I mean, I was walking around, I was calling motherfuckers, we having conversations. Shit, it ain't like you just out your mind fucked up. I know the first time I tried some psychedelic, you know, I start calling niggas, apologizing. Like, man, I know what I did was fucked up, man. Now, you know, like it take you to that. Some shit you probably would never apologize for your ass. Now you call the motherfuckers really apologize, man.
So who did you call that the next day they was like, dude, what was up with you last night? Who did you call? Like, was it your mom's or somebody? She like, girl, what the hell was wrong with you last night? Because I know that had to be a different kind of conversation.
It was. Why I did this?
It looked like she's still under the influence.
No,
you said it was who, Courtney?
I called this guy that I'm dating, and I was telling him all the things I've been thinking about, and all this different shit I talked about. So it was cool.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay, I'm pretty sure he was happy. Like, yeah, drink some more of that shit. Call me Tuesday.
But yeah, it was cool.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
But Costa Rica, I would give it a D as far as food, even as far as attractions. You know, everything they really want you to do is maybe like 2-3 hours away from San Jose. It's maybe 2 hours, 3 hours to the volcano, 3 hours to the beach. It's definitely a whole bunch of a lot of moving and grooving. So, and like I said, there's no salt. It's not really a lot of flavor. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Traveling is overrated. I always say that. I'm not a traveler, so you can get. Hey, I just can't see Kev in Costa Rica. It don't even match. Like people say, I'm going to where they be going. You went there,
Colombia,
Dubai. Like there's no reason I would ever want to go to Dubai. I know a lot of people gonna say, Kev, just go for the experience. You going to see it. It don't even look fun to me when I'm watching other people. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Is there somewhere you would want to go, Kev?
I wouldn't mind going to wine country in California, in Northern California.
You like the wine, Kev? You like wine?
Well, I like the way it looks, like with the mountains and how it's still kind of rural. and the ocean is there. So I'm thinking there's some beautiful views. The air will probably be very crisp, and it's a lot of green, lush. And then there's wine, right? And weed. So yeah, I wouldn't mind going there. I used to want to go to New York, but my back is once I hurt my back, I ain't for walking up and down the block in New York now. That ain't gonna happen. Yeah. But yeah, and I don't know. I guess Miami would the beach in Miami would be something to behold. Even though people tell me like Miami is super, super fucking expensive. But yeah, I mean, I'm not totally adverse to travel. I'm just not a person who's always like, I'm going somewhere. I'm going to the island. I'm going. Oh, and Jamaica. I gotta say Jamaica. I wouldn't mind going to Jamaica. I wouldn't mind.
Why you want to go to Jamaica? Jamaica look like a big ass dump. They be showing it.
Well, there's tourist attractions in Jamaica, and I want to test the food because I like seafood. And you know, just a setting. Like I said, once again, if me and my lady was on the beach, you know what I'm saying, and I had my little linen on and shit.
I can see sun going down. Niggas here the lip. You gonna have them sandals on?
Yeah, man, I'm going full tourist with the hat.
Is that what you trying to get some of that too?
I mean, I wasn't gonna talk about that, but if that so happened to present itself, I wouldn't be, against it.
Okay, all right.
I don't know. I don't like huge crowds. I don't like to be around no big arena full of people. That's why you don't see me at no Bucks game or no concert. I don't, even with bars, man. Oh, and speaking of bars, y'all, I hate to change it up like this, but speaking of bars, now allegedly the murder at Bar 107, this was a 30-year-old female who did this murder.
Oh, a female shot them females?
I don't know if it's true. I thought I seen something that said that the suspect is a 30-year-old female who was who shot up the car. I don't know if y'all got information. Please enlighten me. I don't know. I don't want to spit no misinformation, but that's what I thought I seen. A preliminary report that said it was a female that done this murder, this heinous crime. Jesse said, welcome back, Juice Lady. We missed you. Hey there. Said, same here, Kev. I'm the same way. Ace said, I just saw Brick Baby, Loose Cannon, and Whack 100 have all been indicted. Just saw it on the Whack 100 is indicted.
Whack 100? What? Did he just get out?
No, Whack 100. No. He said, I go straight to the bathroom and sit on the toilet with the light off and the fan on. That's Earl talking about how he getting traumas. Said a woman did that shooting. This is what James Malik is saying in the chat.
Whack 100 isn't the dude that be with Gilly? What's the dude that be with Gilly?
No, that's Wallow. That's some old nigga podverse shit, Courtney. You wouldn't know nothing about this.
My bad.
Wallow.
That's Wallow. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, but no, Whack 100. These are all former gang members, and Big U has gotten indicted. And
oh no,
is Whack 100 included? This is crazy. Man, that internet, man, YouTube has become that's what I'm saying. I be in the podverse. It is foolishness of 50. I'm talking about 52, 54-year-old rappers, gang members, old dudes talking about I want to fade. Let's meet up and fight. And I'm like, what? I'm so past that kind of thinking, Kamar. Like, I don't, you got to shoot me in my fade, bro. We 55 years old.
Hey, that's how different that LA culture is than from ours, though, too.
Yeah.
You know, they more entrenched with that shit. That gang shit, man. That gang lifestyle. We grow out of it. A lot of them don't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In the conversations I've had with Westside about the culture that is gangbanging in South Central LA, it gave me a different understanding. And then once I met some of them brothers from out there, right? Like I met some of those brothers, and they was different, Kamar.
Just once you in it for life, though, kid. That ain't just only in the West Coast. That's anywhere you go.
Well, but no, the West Coast is different, and anybody will tell you that. I get the whole I'm in it for life. I get that, Dion, and that's not to discount or discredit any other thing like Vice Lords or GDs or Four Corner Hustlers or whatever.
Oh my God, you said Vice Lords and GDs,
right? Whatever. I'm saying in LA, it's different because it is an embedded part of their culture, and it's hard to explain until you talk to one of them. You know what I mean? Like it's
like I dig this. Here's the difference, right? Like their culture never changed over the years. You know what I mean? Their politics never changed over the years out there. But then like as far as their hierarchy and structure and shit, right? Like you figure, like in Chicago, that shit changed. Like how the structure's different years ago. You know what I'm saying? Versus now where it's a whole bunch of different sets. That's what I mean by their culture is more entrenched in who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like over here, motherfuckers gang bang, but that shit done changed. They changed the way they do this, the way they do it and everything. But
Gang
out
bang.
there, that shit the same. They still wearing khakis and Chuck Taylors and shit.
Yeah, I sometimes I just listen to these platforms and I listen to these dudes talk, and sometimes I'm like, but the camera is deadly. It's internet. Listen,
Yeah.
the feds is watching.
Yes.
They're listening. What are you doing? And especially when you getting paid from it. Now YouTube is paying you like it's, oh man, because you got to give them a route number so they can deposit the money, right? So that lets them into your finances almost immediately. So the feds, and they got your real government and all that. Come on, man. Malik says, I'll be in the streets, something similar to Batman out here. Yeah, you still a young boy, though. You still a young boy. And when I was 30, I was still out here, too. Fantastic as I wanted to be. Yes, I was. But it was, got time.
Like 52, 54?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm 49 years old.
Oh, my bad.
Damn. Don't rush me.
My big brother is 15 years older than me, and I just assume y'all up there with him.
No, not far off, but no, I'm 49. I'll be 50 in November.
Okay, we're making our way.
Yeah. So okay. I'm cool. Listen, aging is what it is. I don't, either you happy you live this long or your life is shitty.
You having a party?
I ain't gonna lie, I get a little nervous though, Kev, because we got more time behind us than we got ahead of us.
That's what I was just saying about mortality. Thinking about your own mortality.
Yeah. I be thinking about more, man. Listen, like today when I see Bull, I ain't used to get cramps when I was in my 30s. Sometimes I could be in it, and then next thing bam, a trolley horse hit me from the back of the leg. Kill me. The man go dead. She like, what's wrong? I'm like, I caught a cramp. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was 25, 30, I'm what? You know what I'm saying? Now, if I get up wrong, I just literally got out the truck, about to have a whole Charlie horse. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, and when I get Charlie horses, man, them jokers, I damn near be wanting to go to the emergency room because, whew, it's like they take my whole
what are
soul.
you doing if you haven't changed your diet and your rest and all of that? Like, so it's one thing to be 49 or 50, but are you taking care of yourself? So you got a job where you got to be active. You might want to lay off junk food. You might want to have more water.
But you know what? I don't eat a lot of junk food.
Look into what they call it. What they call it? The things you need in water. What they call it, Kamar? What you need out of water?
Water ain't got no nutritional value, but dehydrate you.
Right.
No, water has no. Kamar, what they call it? I can't believe I'm having a brain fart.
All right.
Electrolytes.
Damn it. There you go.
You got to get electrolytes added to water. The water doesn't. That's like alkaline and all that. You got to
we got an expert on the line. We got an expert on the line. Kamar, what are the benefits of water? And not tap water or lead water, but water.
Alkaline water.
Natural spring water has minerals in it. Minerals are natural electrolytes. Like electrolytes are synthetic, actually. That's like buying vitamins. You know what I mean? So actually what you need to look for is the minerals. It's in spring water. If you got some regular purified water or distilled water, you can squeeze a lime in it, right? And you can alkalize your water that way. You know what I'm saying? Alkalinity, electrolytes, minerals, all that shit go together. When you got minerals in your water, it's alkaline. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just get some regular spring water, natural spring water, you know what I'm saying? And you good. Or squeeze a lime in it. You got you some alkaline water.
So there you go, Dion. That will bring your cramps down, your Charlie horses. And like I said, sometimes you just gotta prepare,
Dion,
man.
Dig this. Hey, Dion. Hey, check this out, Dion. Get you some pink sea salt. Get you some pink sea salt and put a pinch of pink sea salt in water, in a bottle of water, and do that with about 5
Himalayan sea salt.
Huh?
He said the Himalayan pink salt. The Himalayan pink salt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Put that in your water, because see, the Himalayan pink salt is high in minerals. So you know what I mean? You can put that in your water, the alkaline your water, and add more minerals to it also. That can help with a lot of different stuff. You know what I'm saying? Huh?
Kumar, he took all that medicine that I took over there, and like you said with that tea, I told you he ain't like tea, but he said, you know, that tea was real good. Drunk it all. Had drunk all this elderberry syrup. Worked out well, Kumar.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah, I mean, once again, if you ain't preparing, you know you owe. So if you ain't preparing, you know, then you can expect shit to hurt. When I got done playing football, I said I'm never lifting another weight in my life, because I chewed on weights for about 12 or 13 years straight. So I still got calluses on my hand. I was like, I'm not in my football and it's done. I'm not lifting weights like that ever again. And so now I don't expect to be able to go out here and run into no other dude and he trying to block me. And you can't block me. No, I'm not prepared for that now. I ain't lifted a weight in years. No, I'm not. No, I'm not prepared for that. I prepare myself for the activities that I'm going to be involved in. Right. And so preparation, what they say, proper preparation prevents poor performance.
That's right. You know,
he said this is they in the chat room still talking about the gangs, how culturally based it is. He said lots of them can't grow out of it. It's all around them. But, you know, it was explained to me, like, if you are into it with the neighborhood 9 times out of 10, it's not just, okay, I woke up this morning and I hate this neighborhood. You have brothers, sisters, cousins, friends, relatives who've been killed by this other neighborhood. Like this war, they've been at war for 40 years. So it's not as simple as saying I'm not going to join. It's like, no, they killed my big brother. They killed my uncle. They killed my best friend I went to high school with. I hate these dudes. It's on for life. And so that's what it becomes. Like I said, it becomes more of a way of life than just, because my gang involvement was part-time. I ain't gonna lie. I was a part-time gang member. You know why? Because I never banged in front of my mother. I knew my mother didn't play that shit. I never, I never, you know, I might have slid my hat a little bit, but I would never, no. I think I told, me and my mother talked about it when I was older. And she said, yeah, you lucky I didn't know. I'd have whooped your ass talking about some gang.
Them niggas in LA, mama's gang bang.
Right, yeah. Thank you. Perfect. There you go, Kamar. That brings it home, right? Right. That's why I don't walk around like I'm, you know, like I'm some street, like I'm a street nigga. Whatever. I dipped and dabbed in it. I was affiliated with some stuff. It wasn't a culture for me. It wasn't a way of life, right? This is Jesse. He said, facts, you got 60-year-old gangbangers. It's crazy. Well, what's the dude? Ayatollah Marv they say he's the oldest Pyru. He's like 70-something years old. And I see him on YouTube telling people he want to fade. I'm like, you 75. But yeah, he done 30, 40 years out of his life in the penitentiary. Earl Henning says, sit your ass down, Pops. I seen that one time I got into it with somebody at a party and I was fucked up. And my brother, I must have said some shit about something. My brother said, you the last gang member on earth with your old ass. He told me, don't ever let me hear you say that shit again. Your old ass. I don't think I ever said it again either. He said, you just sit your ass down somewhere. West Coast banging versus Midwest banging is a total difference. Now, I'm gonna say this, because if you go to Chicago and you a Vice Lord or you a GD or whatever all the gangs is over there, theirs is seriously intense as well. I'm not going, because now they could identify with, this is for life. No, I'm not. I'm almighty or I'm GD. Theirs is it's more serious than Milwaukee's. So I'm not going
more like a social game banging. A lot of people aren't in gangs. Everybody just on the G, folks. GD to the world blow up. A lot of people are not in gangs. You know what I'm saying? They cannot go elsewhere. A lot of them teenagers I see at work, I'm like, hey, y'all doing that handshake, y'all do that from the wrong people, y'all gonna get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just people doing it just cause here and not really about that. And they will get hurt.
My God. And it is, listen, it's very true that in the city of Milwaukee, there are a lot of people who say on the G and do the handshake, and they are not folks. And this is what we made this correlation weeks ago when we were talking about the Crip walk and the C walk or the B walk, and we were saying to see somebody who just randomly does it and is not a Crip is like hearing somebody say on the G who ain't folks. Like, dude, why are you saying that? You're not even. And it used to be older dudes who would like be like, yo, spit your lid or whatever. And it used to be Vice Lord brothers like that. Like, what's your laws? Like, and if you didn't know what you were supposed to know, you got regulated, I guess. I don't, so
yeah.
But yeah, it was a little bit more social for some of us. I know some brothers here who still be like, nah, man, I'm just a father now. So I've been a father. Once I joined a different gang a long time ago. I became yeah, man. Once I held my daughter in my arms for the first time, I was out of every gang. I knew I would never gang banging again because she was looking at me like, feed me, nigga. I'm like, everything this little girl needs, I have to provide it. I'm done with the foolishness. It changed my life. So, yeah, I don't, but we see it all the time, and it's very popular. It's very popular. That's what I'm saying. The whole Crip thing. All these, like, this was Kamar was stating earlier. Back in the days, there was plenty gang members plenty rappers who was gang members. But you didn't hear them talking about they set on their record. The first one that I remember was DJ Quick. Because you would hear DJ Quick saying Treetop. You would hear him, like, you watch his videos, and then all of the incidents that he would run into. And then after that, Snoop them came, and then it just became like, okay, whatever I am. Because Snoop them was the first ones. I heard Banging on Wax, so it's different for me. And Tweety Bird Loc, who was dissing Eazy-E. But the Dog Pound was like Crip, DPGC. I was like, damn. I always wondered, like, this might lead to trouble eventually. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, remember DJ Quick came in the game and he was banging with MCA with the Crip.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's funny, right? Because see, they both were screaming Compton, right? But you never would think like it's a bunch of blood hoods in Compton. You know what I mean? Like back then, we just thought Compton was probably all one gang or something. You know what I mean? Because they never differentiated that shit.
Yeah, Compton, I guess that from what they say is a majority, but that's why I call it Bompton. But so you're right, because one thing with Quick was he was talking about 8 and Quick was Red. He always had on Red. But if you had Compton's Most Wanted first album, which I did, yes, I did, in the summer of 1989, the tape was blue.
Yeah.
It was blue. I didn't even know. It's like, why is everything else was clear and they album was blue. The cassette was blue.
How the fuck did he do that? We thought.
Right.
Well, how the fuck did they do that?
Why is the tape blue? We didn't know. We didn't know. Why
did they do that?
Man. So
nobody else ever did that either.
Well, people tried to emulate it after that. I don't know as far as gangbanging, because Wu-Tang them, they albums, they tapes would be whatever color. You'd be like, what? Raekwon shit purple.
Yeah, I remember they had a purple one.
Yeah,
a clear purple.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying, man. That's when hip hop was fun and shit. This shit ain't fun now. Honestly, man, hip hop is just a bunch of sad dudes with auto-tune right now. These niggas is emo. And I think this is why you get a lot of women who be like, when men are soft now. Like, and then you see these dudes, they got purses and man bags and got their nails painted and shit. And I'm like, is this our representation now? He said, this is Jesse said in LA, you have intergenerational gangbangers. That's what I was referring to. Malik said Dickies, can't forget they still wearing Dickies. What's a uniform? Once again, we didn't know. Go ahead, Courtney.
I said, and a button up like Kev be wearing, button up to the top.
Well, that's a thing. That's called teed up. I got that wet Zelda. I always used to wear my shirts like that. And he would always say, I see you teed up. And I was like, what you talking about? He's like, when you button your shirt all the way up, the Mexicans, I guess, and some of the G dudes out there button their shit up all the way to the top. But we always did that. Yeah, man, teed up. My mama used to make me button my top shirt. Every time she used to button my shirt up, she used to button me up all the way to the top. I used to walk out the house like, damn, I'm choking.
You were secure.
Man, with a bunch of Vaseline on my forehead, right? Shiny as
matters, that means somebody love you now.
Yeah, my mama for sure. She didn't give a fuck about no. Hey, come on now. She was in the Kevin gang.
A lot of ass out here.
Said no wonder I can't find good work pants. I tell you what, go on Amazon and order Red Cap. Now you need work clothes. Go order Red Cap. They make some dope shit. I love wearing tactical wear and work wear. I'd rather wear that on an everyday basis than some name brand shit or some funny looking pants with glitter and spikes and shit and cartoon characters on my shirt. I dress practical. I want my clothes to have a function. That's why I like tactical clothes, because you got plenty pockets. The material is durable. It's breathable, right? Like I'm not chasing no Gucci t-shirt, no shit like that. I'd rather have like a shirt with a UV protection on it for fishing. And you make nice fit for it. He said it's on tape. He said they up there, Juice Lady, talking about how old we are. Yeah. Old heads.
Definitely.
I always tell these young people, you better hope you live as long as me with the lifestyle that you live in. Said facts, Kev, the cameras and the feds is watching. That's who said that on the show. Who said that on the show? You're right. They told me. Or Kamar explained the electrolytes. Who was saying that on the show about getting old, talking about, things they can't do no more because they older. And I was like, I ain't tripping. Because everybody's going to get old. Even if you ain't old right now, you're going to be pretty soon.
Kev, I just realized the other day, I was going to this Thai Bangkok place around here on Brown Deer Road, and this authentic Thai food. It is the best. But within the last year, you know what I'm saying, I also be getting kind of late at like 8. You know what I'm saying? So I'm eating it late at night. And then I wake up at 6 a.m. with this pain in my stomach, Kevin. Pain every time, be fucked up for a couple hours. And then someone said recently after the last pain, are you eating it too late? I'm like, what you mean? Am I eating it too late? Like, what? And I done got old. Niggas can't eat the spicy food after a certain hour. I gotta cut it off at like 5 or 6. Or I haven't figured out the timing yet, but I'm like, niggas is getting old.
That is one of the things. Man, I can't eat that this late. How old are you? Right? Like, it's like naps. Like when you a kid, you like naps, and then when you old, you like naps. Yeah. You'll kick back and be like, man, let me catch a little nap right quick and be out for like 30 minutes and then get up and be like, let's go. It's like, did this nigga just recharge his battery? Yeah. Ewok, what it do, man? On AZ said you need potassium for cramps. Okay. But you can't have too much potassium. I guess that's why they say eat bananas, right? You had to get Kamar's take on that. Say, yep, Himalayan pink salt. My mom used to get mad at me for throwing up gang signs out the window.
My favorite. Throw them fingers up. Twist them. Bang them.
Girl, he said 4100. You know what? I shout out to 4100. I grew up with them dudes. I went to elementary school with all them dudes at Phillips School. Oh. But I couldn't never claim 4100 because I was from Capitol. I was off Capitol. I was on Capitol, and our block was 4000. So we was 40. But I love for all them dudes, man. I went to middle school with them, including Trail. Rest in peace to Trail. All the brothers out there, man, and I knew them dudes from kindergarten up. And if I see them, wherever I see them, it's love. Shout out to 4100. Oh, that's he said Milwaukee click bang. Now, I guess my son is always telling me it's mobs now. It ain't gangs. That I met a few lords who used to say it wasn't because they're a G, mostly because it's the city lingo. I guess it sounds slick. Yeah. On the G. I never understood it. I mean, we know for a fact that people used to just say it and a lot of them was just trying to fit in so they wouldn't get beat up. Let's be honest. On the G, all folks. And then there's always somebody who makes a mistake and says, hey, my bad, folks, or hey, folks. And then we used to have to be like, hold on, man. Hold on with that shit. I
think my error on
stop that shit.
Lingo. I know, because in high school, everybody, even females. I mean, like I said, to these children nowadays, it's just lingo. Ain't nobody get jumped into nothing. Ain't nobody really about nothing. Just on the G. It's shake up.
I've seen people get their ass whooped for it now. Yeah. And this is in Milwaukee. And that's what like you used to start it with. Hey, what up, folks? Or hold on, folks. And then they usually probably 50 deep, and it's only 12 of y'all. So here we go. Oh shit. Here we go. I had some episodes in Northridge Mall, man. And it's like you arguing with 6 of them, and you think, okay, it's 8 of us, and then I don't know what they do. Next thing you know, it's 20 of them. I'm about, folks, let's bang them. Huh?
So it's like the Warriors. Some other people just come out the cut. So damn.
Yeah, man. On Saturdays in North, like they had an arcade, they had a video game arcade in Northridge, and we was in the arcade. We was probably about, I don't know, we was probably about 9 deep. We had our hats to the left. We had been up there all day, and we came out, and it was some of the dudes with their hats to the right. They was playing, they was in there too, but it was some standing by a phone booth. There's a phone booth right out, the big phone thing right outside the arcade. And it must have been 4 of them. And we walked out and they was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's GD house and da-da-da-da. We fuck y'all. Man, by the time we got to the food court, it was like 30 of them. I was like, where did these motherfuckers come from? It was so many dudes. I think it was dudes volunteering, man. Because it was so many dudes all of a sudden with their hats to the right. Like, yeah. I said, man, my guys was like, hey, man, what we gonna do? I said, man, just keep walking. And we got to the front. I made a move and got on the payphone and called my guy from the payphone. It was Cole's department store. And I don't know how he got from 17th and Capitol. I don't even know where Jay was. I just know it didn't take him long. He pulled up like, hey, Kev, get in the car. I'm like, I can't leave my guys. But it was so many of them. I ain't gonna lie. I think some of my guys was hiding in the club. I think they was hiding in Cole's department store, man. But, you know, that's the old school shit. But then I got some homies, too, who would have stood flat-footed and be like, what's happening? And if he stay, you got to stay. So it's like, dude, we finna fight 20 dudes. Ain't nothing in that but an ass whooping. That's it. You getting lumped up, man. Yeah. You know, so, yeah, it was crazy. But I'm glad I wasn't, you know, a lifelong gangbanger. I don't think there's a future in that. Malik says, I was told DJ Quick got some shit started with the GDs here back in the days. Quick had an episode here. He did, but all those rappers who would come here with anything, like Tupac got chased off the stage in Milwaukee. And they tore up the hotel and all this kind of shit, chasing Tupac. So, yeah. I mean, people like to say Milwaukee, but hey, man, I've seen some cats get their heads swole fucking with this city. And some tough dudes, too. So, go ahead, Kamar.
Milwaukee is really like that.
Right.
You definitely give it to them. Milwaukee is really like that.
Yeah.
Right. And I hear jokes. I hear like celebrities and shit. And like even the Bucks here now. Like I was mad because Bobby Portis was saying ain't nothing to dress up for in Milwaukee and all this shit, which is true. But the reality is there's plenty of places to go. You just better not take your 6'7" ass in there. Ask Glenn Robinson what happened to him at juniors. Right? Big dog himself. Motherfucker around here with an NBA All-Star ring. Who did he think he was gonna sell that to? How was you gonna pawn that? What the fuck was you gonna do with that shit? Like, right. But nah, they make jokes. I've heard a lot of, like I was hearing MC8 talk about the Tupac incident. He kept saying, well, it really happened because there was a bunch of GDs from Chicago in the crowd, and Tupac was going off about Yummy Sandiford. And he was just like, well, Tupac thought he was just talking to some Milwaukee niggas. He didn't know them was Chicago niggas. And I'm like, bro, obviously you was not in Milwaukee in the late 80s. Mid to late 80s, early 90s.
Right.
Because you could have got your shit toe off. And you sure wasn't going to come up here with no Crip shit.
Hey, that was in the height of all that BOS stuff.
Come on, man.
Chicago niggas. They was here already.
Right. But it was some niggas here from Milwaukee who was here who would have tore your shit off. Yeah. You might think, oh, he ain't going to do nothing. He from Milwaukee.
There wasn't all Chicago niggas that chased Tupac into that hotel.
That was my point. And Scarface was saying when he tells the story, he's like, he was telling Tupac, because Tupac was, they ain't gonna do nothing. He like, these Milwaukee niggas will shoot your ass. Because Scarface used to be here a lot. And there were some rappers who would come here a lot. Too Short, all of them. You see them riding through the city and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, but they was here with the big dogs, man. Try it at your own risk. I don't care what city you in. I don't care where you go. It's some criminal element, something going on. I don't know.
Don't get out and leave your car running in this motherfucker.
You better be careful what kind of car you driving.
Straight up.
Your ass snatched. Well, what they do that for? And then go on the high speed with the police. Right? And these dudes now getting to the point where they busting the police say drop your gun. They're like, fuck that. Yeah. He said he remembered Tweety Bird Loc. I had that tape back. I used my Audio Vibes days, man, when I would buy every rap album that came out every week. I was in there with my allowance. Like, I need that. And my mother, Earl said his mother had 11 kids. Guess what gang he was in?
In the house.
Which right, I'm in the house gang.
In the house.
Whatever she told you, right? Right. So yeah, I remember that tape. He remembers the blue tape, the Compton Most Wanted. He said TD up went to GD up. Okay, I don't. Once again, in our neighborhood, it wasn't that. We wasn't. My family had a lot more to do with some of the choices I made. It wasn't. My neighborhood was beautiful. First of all, I grew up in the best fucking neighborhood in this city. Capital was the shit back in the day. I don't care. Okay. I'm trying to tell you, Roots King neighborhood was the shit. The gang shit seeped in, but as we got older, but that was not even. It wasn't even close to how we grew up, because we grew up. My block, man, come on, all black homeowners, business owners. Hell, the alderman lived across the alley from us. School teachers, it was beautiful, man. So we didn't really have no excuse. That crack.
Hear y'all acting like that.
Cause that crack, man, crack fucked Milwaukee up. Said on my side of town, he was screaming out BOS. Yeah, Joey Phillips, see, my big homie, my big homie said, yes, big facts, Kev. We see niggas shake it up and asked him to spit that lit. If you don't know it, we was on your ass. And 4100 loves you too, my brother. Peace to Outlaw Radio for life. Yeah, JoJo, you know that, man. That's neighborhood. Joey, man. I met Joey when I was probably about 4 years old.
Remember who you met at the age of 4. That's what's up. Or maybe I need some lifelong friends, one or the other.
Well, yeah, because listen, he's one of those brothers that I've always known as far as I can remember. I don't remember a time when I didn't know him. So when I went to school, when I went to kindergarten, 5-year-old kindergarten, I knew Joey. I knew Eric, his brother. They was, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, them dudes was way older than me, man. I was in 2nd, 3rd grade. They was all like sophomores, juniors in high school, but I used to be around them because my mother used to make my brother take me with him.
So if you think, I mean, they like 60 something?
Maybe some of them 55, 56, 57, 58, you know. Them dudes, it was grown in the 80s. Right? I'm just sitting there soaking it up. Because like I said, my brother leave the house because he's 3 years older than me. He's going to go with them. My mother like, take Kevin. He's like, no, you taking him with you. So I'm 9, 10 years old with these dudes who 14, 15, 16. A lot of ear hustling. Mannish, as they call it. That shit came early. He said, say that again, Kamar. Milwaukee really like that. 414. MKE. So 80s, 90s, Milwaukee, GDs everywhere. You ain't got to tell me shit. You ain't got to tell me. I remember it. Too Short rapped about the players' ball in Milwaukee. I mean, a lot of rappers. It's just that I see a lot of disrespect for the city sometimes on the internet when I see, you know, but it's mostly celebrities because we ain't Chicago. We're not, you know, Las Vegas or LA or so. Yeah, it ain't no. We got a few bright lights, but when you go to them, you better be careful.
I mean, they like to buy up our real estate. I always hear different celebrities talk about, oh, yeah, that's a great spot to buy some. Yeah, they always trying to get our property. I know that.
Well, yeah.
Realize that.
Nobody can tell me anything. When I say, to me, the summertime in Milwaukee is the most beautiful time of the year. I've had the greatest memories in my life in the summertime in Milwaukee. If you didn't grow up here, or maybe you just ain't been here and kicked it in the summer, you don't know, but ain't no time like summertime in Milwaukee. Now, true enough, people be getting fucked up. The violence is a bit much, but it be so much to do, and you could just chill at your crib. Well, depending on where you live. I don't live in the pit, so I don't know. He said King Rick did security for the players' ball here, out his own mouth. He probably did. Sure, he did. Said you better know somebody, and sometimes that might not help you. Well, the number one rule of thumb in our city is mind your motherfucking business.
Mind it.
You can get a long way in Milwaukee if you mind your motherfucking business. A lot of us, because of who we are cool with, our family members, our friends, we get in this shit because of them. That's you in somebody else's business. And you be like, I shouldn't even be here. This motherfucker done got me in this shit. If you mind your business in Milwaukee, and I mean mind it, to the point where you can't be quick to jump and they fighting, I'm gonna break it up. Oh, he beating up his girl. Even he's beating up his girl. I mean, leave that woman alone. You better get back. You better.
People to help people sometimes, Kev, and that's fucked up. Because just like I think about that lady in New York that got raped on the train and nobody helped. Like that kind of make you hate humanity. You know, you surrounded by all these people. You see this man trying to rape me on this train. Ain't none of y'all finna help. Nobody's finna intervene. Nobody.
Well, rape is different. Like if I'm sitting there, somebody, I'm be like, hey man, hey, I'm gonna try to get everybody else too. Like, hey man, we should stop him. Come on, y'all. I'm not gonna be the single hero. Like I'm gonna, hey, come on, let's grab him or something, you know. But this was my encounter was a female with her man. I don't know if he's her pimp. I don't know who he was. He was outside in the summertime. He was beating her up, and my cousin got pissed. And my cousin was like, man, pull over, man. That shit ain't cool. And he jumped out like, hey, man, stop hitting on that girl. And first thing she said was, leave him alone, towards my cousin. And then he turned around and pulled a howitzer from his belt. This is one of the biggest pistols I ever seen. Or either he was just a real little dude. You know, as time go on, the story get greater. Maybe that's because that's all I could see. I said, cuz, get your ass back in this car. And my cousin was like, oh, okay. That's how you want to do it? He jumped in the car. Now, my brother, when you go, I said, why are we going to get a gun? Because my brother and my cousin, like, oh, man, let's go. And I'm sitting in the back seat like, excuse me. We should have stayed out that man business. That's just funny, but it's a true story, man. My brother was pissed. My cousin was pissed. And I'm thinking, like, what if we go back and kill this dude? And they done got back together 5 minutes later.
You know, I was watching somebody podcast, and this was the subject a little bit, right? They was talking about men helping women as strangers. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You know what I mean? And they got deep, and it was like, if it was a lot of women saying, listen, I don't want my husband helping no strange woman, putting his life in danger. I need my husband to come home to me.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And see, I feel like, you know what I mean? Once you in a relationship, your job is to protect that woman and that family. You know what I'm saying? In your family. Your job ain't to protect that. Even if you're a single man, you know what I mean? You got to be real careful on how far you go. You know what I'm saying? Where you draw the line. Because like you said, Kev, this motherfucker pulled that motherfucking pistol out. I remember a time I was riding down Capitol, and I may have been on like 28th and Capitol, and on the corner, it was a dude and this girl outside, right out the car. But they pulled the car over, and they out there tussling and shit, right? So I pulled around, and I figured if they were still tussling, I was going to get out and try to calm him down. You know what I mean? They were still there, so I got out. You know what I mean? And the dog tried to raise up at me at first, you know what I mean? But I kept my conversation directed towards him. Like, dog, listen. All these motherfuckers flying down here just like I saw you. It's a bunch of other motherfuckers that saw you. Somebody may have called the police. I don't want to see another black man go down like that. And you know what I mean? I de-escalated it a bit.
Oh, you negotiated. Negotiated.
Exactly. You know what I mean? You got to use your brain. You got to use your brain sometime. You know what I mean? I ain't know if this motherfucker had no pistol or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Now dig this. I got the brother to even walk away and hit it. Man, why this girl run and jump on his motherfucking back? And we see black women all the time getting upset, talking about black men don't protect black women. They don't care.
Yeah, it's just like that conversation of if I'm somewhere with my wife and some dude disrespects her or slaps her, or or not just, I won't say slap, but physically does so, or he's very aggressive, right? There's two things to this situation. Number one, ultimately I'm gonna have to say, hold on, like this shit can't happen. But number one, my expectation for her is not to carry herself like that. So I don't expect you to be somewhere loud arguing with some nigga in Walmart and I got to come. And like I appreciate the fact that you carry yourself like a woman. And you ain't gonna, yeah, motherfucker, my man gonna beat you. No, I wouldn't. I've never been attracted to that type. I'm more when me and my wife go somewhere, we're a self-contained unit. I don't have to worry about her, finna fight in the produce section at Walmart with some chick, some hood rat, and I got to jump in it. See my ass on Facebook getting dragged all around Walmart, but like, that's Kev. Ah, shit. He's still holding his cane. Let the cane go, Kev. I'm not trying to do that. The only other option I have is to start carrying. So, because I ain't finna wrestle with you, man. Look here, man. Hey, you got. Now we on the same level. You up, I up.
Right.
Mexican standoff.
Take the stairs or the window, nigga.
Hey, man. Your choice, man.
Get the fuck up out of here.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Joey Phillips. He said our neighborhood was the best time as a youth growing up. Sleepovers down by y'all house, fishing with your pops, mom's good food, Black Belt Theater, and the hamster that you and Keith had riding the wheel. Oh, yeah, great memories. And the whole block was one big family. Man, I'm telling you, them days was the bomb, man. Be outside playing tag until 11 o'clock at night, as long as you don't go off the block. You be like, Mom, I'm just down the street. All right, you don't go off this block. You running all through people yard playing tag and shit. Said breaking news, they caught Big U. He's no longer on the run. Can somebody tell me if Whack 100 is involved in this? Because this would be funny to me. I'm definitely gonna be on YouTube tonight when I get off the show.
Right. I don't know. I've been seeing this shit all day. You know what I mean? And I ain't saying nothing. They've been saying Whack 100. I think his name is in it because of the podcast, No Jumper podcast.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I don't know if he's indicted, if he got indicted. Maybe he got indicted because of what he know. I don't know.
But even one of those individuals.
I want to go back and see. I'd like to go back.
Even one of them dudes who I'm talking about who goes out, he's on Pyru, and you hit, we hitting, we this and that. I'm like, bruh. Like he going 22, Adam 22. He goes on any podcast and say the same shit. And I'm like, bruh, dude, what part of, and I don't know if I'm being smart. I ain't saying that. But when you hollering out, yeah, we, Pyru, and that's my homeboy, and this is, dude, you are affiliating yourself. Have you ever heard of conspiracy? That is the feds' one of their favorite words.
That's why you're supposed to shut the fuck up.
There you go. Moving, because first of all, there's cameras everywhere. There's mics everywhere. Everything is under surveillance. If my suggestion is that if you're involved in crime right now, you should be as low as possible. You should be a shadow. You should take no risks. No new friends, no phone conversations, even with your material possessions. All that flossy, fly, all that, nah. Because the object is to get money and get out. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always be like, man, if you looked around, it's $2-3 million a week coming in. I would have to say I got to figure out an escape plan. I'm no longer waiting. I'm finna relocate to somewhere where can't nobody find me with this money, Kamar. I bought me an ice cream truck, living in a shack, driving around the town. I'm for real. It ain't that easy. It's shit. Come get me. He said, Whack no 100. This is Malik. He said they raided Big U's grandmother house. Whack no 100. He says conspiracy. Who is this? This is Malik. He said, and that's all the feds got to say. Conspiracy. Yeah, even if he wasn't there. Ernest Walker said, real Pyru don't claim Whack. He's over 50 years old, false flagging. Agreed, Kev, no pillow talking either. Pillow talk is another one, man. And you know what? If you a brother and you got a woman, this is one of the hardest ones, though. Especially if you got a woman. Like, she ain't just, and shame on the dudes who do it with anybody who they laying with. But when you with your girl, your wife, and you letting off steam, baby, but you pillow talking. But some brothers be like, well, I want to keep you protected, so don't ever ask me about none of that shit. But a lot of brothers, they women know all the secrets. Well, just tell me where you be at so I won't be worried. And you, okay, you know that green building over there? Like, you been a pillow talked your ass off. They can't make a wife testify against her husband, though, can they? I don't think they can do that. Speaking of conspiracies, y'all, these JFK papers were released. I don't know where y'all sit. on like, because for me there's some great mysteries, right? JFK, Tupac, Biggie, their murders, Malcolm's murder, Martin Luther King's murder. These were all obviously all conspiracies, and people want to know the ins and outs. And Trump said he was going to release the MLK papers as well as JFK. He released the JFK papers today. I haven't seen anything that changes the narrative that there was so many different conspiracies at work, like the magic bullet, or that there was 2 shooters and one was on the grassy knoll, like the stuff we really worry about. I mean, there's a lot of information about their surveillance of Oswald and stuff like that, and real government like FBI spy shit, and it's a whole bunch of conspiracy type information. But it might come out later. I haven't seen anything that'll make you say, "Oh shit, that's what happened." Like, most of these theories done been played out to the nines. I am interested, Kamar, in seeing these MLK papers, though. I'm interested in seeing the MLK papers. And if you really know, Martin Luther King's family was awarded financially some years back because of their role in his assassination. You know what I mean? But I want to know who the Judas was on the team. Because this dude who shoots him is far away with a high-power rifle, and he knows where the hotel he's in, and he's conveniently standing on the balcony, and he's the only one who gets hit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and then there's some talk about what happened when he got to the hospital, and I know they ain't gonna release that information. Hell, they supposedly released the Epstein papers. I know they couldn't have released all of them because Trump is in the motherfuckers, right? Trump and them motherfuckers, he all up into them. They gonna take that shit out.
You gotta be in them, man. Trump in a whole bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Trump may be in those papers. He may be in some Diddy files. You know what I'm saying? Trump all over the place with this shit, man. He a wild boy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Trump is. Yeah, his life story. That movie is gonna be a motherfucker when we can finally get over this shit. Said piss on the White House grass conspiracy. Depends on the case at hand. He says 80K papers, and that's just the first layer. Now Malik is saying, I've heard something about Jesse Jackson. I don't have facts, so I've never really talked about that out loud. But there were some people who said that what was Abernathy, and there's a whole bunch of theories about who conspired with Martin Luther King. It's wild. It's wild. And I would like to know the ins and outs of it. Like, for so long, the Malcolm thing was a great mystery, but I still think I watched what was probably the most thorough documentary about Malcolm X's assassination, and I seen it on Netflix, and I don't know if it's still up or what, but it was about this brother who was a Muslim from the 60s who had followed Malcolm, who adored Malcolm, and he had just researched it for the last 30, 40 years. And finally, he tracked down one of the Muslim brothers from a mosque in New Jersey, and everybody in the community was like, yeah, everybody knows he was one of the shooters. He never went to jail. And just when dude found his house, he died. I said, wow. So that's so I'm always looking at those conspiracies like, what really happened? Says Shabaka can tell you all about it, Kev. I wish he would call back into the show. I know I missed Shabaka earlier. Shabaka, if you out there, hit us up. So that's all you're gonna see is black magic marker. What is Earl talking about? I call the show as black as possible because I wanted to ask this question, Kamar, and I think we got enough time to address it now. Does being black mean anything today to us, to black people? Because we're so divided, and there's so much counterproductive behavior, so many counterproductive mentalities. And so there's a group I know of people who really feel like, hey man, being black is important to me. My identity as a black person is important to me. I want to involve myself in as many positive things as I possibly can in regards to my blackness or to my culture. But is it really important to us? Because, and I say that because there are people who got mad about the blackout, the boycott. There's people who get mad when you celebrate Black history. There's people who talk bad on Black women. There's Black people who talk bad on Black men. Like, is this as a maybe I'm overestimating the importance of it? Am I the last man on earth who really is saying, hey man, I love us and I want us to do better? I don't know. Sometimes I feel like we talk about stuff on the show and it's socio-political and it's very heavy, but there's a lot of people who don't listen. And I know it's factual and I know it's pertinent because I hear it on other platforms. I watch and listen to other people's platforms. I'm like, hey, we was just talking about that shit. We just said that shit. But I see somebody put up a balloon popper or just somebody on the handstand shaking their ass or two dudes fighting or somebody ribbing somebody and that shit is bonkers with millions of views. And I'll be looking at our views like, what? So it's almost okay. So one time I almost had a publicist. I knew a young lady from Milwaukee who was working as a publicist, and she was trying to give me advice on, and this was years ago, Kamar. I think this is right before you joined. She was trying to give me advice on how to take the show and make it have more broad appeal. And she said, you got to get off that Black power shit. Nobody care about that shit. Don't nobody care about that shit except for a few broke niggas. And she was a Black woman. I was like, what? Like, what you mean? She was like, it ain't about revolution. It's about evolution. I was like, wow, is that how most people feel? I'm starting to think that is. Like I said, here in the city, when not enough hell is raised about a $200 million tax, $200 million generated in taxes by the people of the city, and 90% of it goes to pension payments, and the other 10% goes to fire and safety. I don't hear enough. I don't see any out. I'm on Facebook, Kamara. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. I'm looking at the dudes who are leaders here. Where's the rage? Where is somebody saying, hey, man? $1 million generated. Dion, you got to turn your device down, man.
I ain't even got no device. Oh, yes, I do. Hold on.
So I said, brothers, be quick.
I got to turn the TV because I'm still real.
Cam, I ain't even got nothing up. You fucking with me. Wait a minute. Let me turn the TV on.
Yeah, I just noticed that. Come here, Mito. What's going on?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let me see. He said, Jesse says, it means, hold on. Let me go back, y'all. I'm stuttering and shit. Let me go back. I sound like just hilarious. Oh, my bad. No shade. Ewok says, I'm gonna talk about it. Ewok says magic marker means redacted. They black out the good part. Okay, there you go. I'm sorry. I didn't. Thank you, Ernest, for keeping me. I talking so much shit. I be forgetting sometimes what I'm talking about. Yeah, the release of these documents is supposedly not redacted. I don't know if I trust that because I feel like you just digitally took the marker out and put some other shit there. I just don't trust y'all. I don't trust y'all. Albert Bell said being Black means a lot to him. Jesse said he's not alone. Malik L. Shabazz, he says, I'm third in line. I love being Black. I love our Black women, and most definitely was to see us as a race get ahead and leave the ignorance alone. Albert Bell says, until mothers change, nothing will. Yee. Malik says the father's got to set up and change too. See now, if we start just throwing darts, right? And just saying, okay, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. Then we end up with this kind of state of confusion because then it's like, well, where do we go first? I think there needs to be a unilateral agreement on where we start at. I still think the way to start where you start at is economics. I don't see any other way because you can't build, you can't develop, you can't really promote or implement anything if you ain't got no bread. And we should have a problem with how our money, the money that we do generate in terms of tax revenue is distributed. That's why I'm saying $200 million generated by taxpayers in Milwaukee, and 90% is predetermined to go to pension payouts for the city of Milwaukee. This shit is stupid. And I'm just not hearing this ain't got nothing to do with no mama or no daddy. This is the powers that be who make these decisions, and we just allowing them to do it. It's nobody. Once again, Dion corrected me. He said that there's other platforms who talk about this stuff. Maybe there should be more, because I definitely think if you start to, because everybody who I tell about this breakdown, Kamar, you know what the first thing they say is, you bullshit. I'd be like, nah, man, out of that 200 million, none of the people be like, Kev, nah, man, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, dude, did you not see the shit in the paper? You ain't see it online? And they be like, man, I don't read that shit. Maybe you should. Maybe you should. Maybe you should stay aware, right? They say, don't be no square, be aware. He said, our pride comes from home first. So economics and education, you know better, you do better. Well, once again, when I say economics, this ain't about making everybody rich. This is about an investment into our community. This is about what we're doing with our money. Because we prop up a lot of other people, like Arabs, like Asians, hell, like Latinos. I'm good to stop at a taco truck every now and then, right?
Yeah, you terrible for that.
I'm keeping it a buck. I will go to a Mexican restaurant. What are we talking about? That's my favorite food.
You said a taco truck.
I know, but restaurant, taco truck, same deal for me. I've been to a taco truck too, so let's not get that twisted. But I'm just saying, I waste money. That's not like I don't eat Chinese food, right? Like I tear some shrimp fried rice up, get home, say, Kevin, them sea roaches. I don't care. I like the shit. So, but the reason why is because we don't have options to spend with ourselves like we should, right? Like I felt so bad for years knowing that we were buying fried chicken and catfish from Arabs. Like, this is a slap. Who better to fry it than us? And we like, so how we spend our money is very important, and it should be, like, and if we had better spending habits, we would be able to save more, which would mean we would be better in better shape to invest. You can't invest if you don't got no savings.
You sure can't.
Right?
I hate hearing people always talking about invest. If a nigga ain't got no money, what can you invest?
That's right. Who got $5,000-$10,000 to throw over here in a stock or a bond and let it mature for 20 years? No, you no. Black people be like, I just got laid off. Get that goddamn stock out the cabinet. We can take this motherfucker. You'll be a 7 mile fair with that motherfucker on sale.
That shit depreciate. But you know what though, Kev? I was listening to something today when you were talking earlier. I was trying to call you when you were talking about what does it mean to be black. And I was listening. I'm not sure if you don't listen to Sirius Extra Satellite, but you know Don Lemon. So it was Don Lemon and this guy named Clayton, Clay Kane or whatever. And they was talking about how the black conservatives, and they was just talking about how media outlets were paying people just so much money just to come and just be like, they wanted just to hear it. How they have badged black people, and they was talking about like Byron Donaldson and Tim Scott and other black conservatives. The cash cow was flowing in. So sometimes it made me want to think like I said, Candace Owens. I think she really believes in this stuff she be saying. But some of these people, I want to know, like, do they really believe in it, or is it just while the camera on, let me bash niggas, after that, give me my check?
Well, I think the check is most definitely a part of it. They are in the business. That is what they're in the business of doing. You have to generate clicks and likes and shares and shit like that. And I realize that's something I realize too when people say, "Kev, well, if you want more clicks and likes and all this kind of stuff, you got to add more bells and whistles. Like, you have to do things that dress it up." But I feel like I'm not selling glitter. Right? I don't want that. That's not why I do this. I'm really into enlightenment and just trying to pass some information along to people. I don't really want to be famous. Like, somebody said, how you do a podcast and you don't want to be famous? I don't want to be famous. I'd like to be very wealthy, but I enjoy my anonymity. I'm not really, looking to say, look, he got on Gavinci and this kind of, nah, I'd rather be able to get in and get out. I'd rather be able to go to a store. My wife say, hey, we out of ground beef. I can go to the grocery store and grab me some ground beef. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to as soon as I pull up, people, oh, there go Kevin. I don't have no desire for that. So that's why there ain't no bells and whistles on here. That's why we don't really do a lot of gossip. We don't really get into street shit per se. Like, because first of all, number one, I'm so far removed from the streets, and I can happily and openly admit that. I don't know about other people. I'm not. That's just not my bag anymore. So I want to focus on grown people shit because we are men of a certain age, and I feel like it's our responsibility to do that. You know, regardless of what somebody may think or say. Let me get this chat room. He said, you used to say that all the time about the chicken and Arabs. For real. Like, what? How is this possible? You know what I mean? Like, oh my God. Albert Bell in the chat room. Shout out to Albert. He said, you asked, what does black pride mean? Then you said, it seems we don't have any, but home is where it starts. I don't think I said, correct me if I'm wrong, Kamar. I don't think I said we don't have any. I think I said, is this still important? And I was questioning how many of us is this important to? Like, because think about it. When we talk about being black, affiliation, right? We're talking about who you with. All right. So, but then I see some of my people who don't mind compromising in a hurry. So they say, no, I love everybody in certain situations. Or they'll openly admit where they want to have white ice because it's colder. And I'm saying, is there any kind of core of foundational black Americans who feel like, no, we want to sing up, we want to be on the same page. We want a solitary movement for us. And we want to focus on our needs. We're not, and it's nothing bad. It's nothing heinous. It's nothing racist. It's nothing divisive. It's just simply us saying, hey, no, this is who we are. This is what we need to do. We don't need to let nobody in from the outside. We don't need their advice. Let's come to an agreement right here and right now on how we need to move. Because even the idea of delineation in the FBA shit sent a lot of black people saying, I'm not that. Fuck that. That's some bullshit. Right? Now, if you don't like it, you don't like it. If you don't agree with it, you don't agree with it. But it shouldn't be fuck that. It should be, hey, but I feel like maybe we want the same things. So there's a certain cohesion that should happen. Let me see. Orlando Owens checking in. Somebody said black Republicans, black conservatives. Orlando Owens is in the chat room. Al said, others study what you eat before they get here. Arabs make your food, Asians, etc. They know you like fried chicken, fool. Right. Well, that obviously they do. At one point, they were selling this shit in almost every gas station. We used to call it Taliban bird in the hood, like Al Qaeda and Al Qaeda bird. You ain't never heard that? The boy got that Al Qaeda bird. Listen, some of that shit used to be good. And then they would have like the Africans in there and they have fish and man, late night, keyed, you going in there and tater wedges. Come on, man. And then you realize, wait, I just bought some fried chicken at the gas station. They take that. He's laughing when I said take that.
When I'm on the highway, like going down south, I buy fried chicken out the gas station, like Chester's chicken.
See, Chester's.
Yeah,
that's a nickname for Ong Bak, right?
Yeah, that'd be real. That'd be the real deal, though, boy. On love, you get down in Mississippi, boy. You get motherfucking turkey leg and rib dinner, all type of stuff down there, though. You know what I'm saying?
And then if you look at, now, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you look for where most of that, it says the halal farms. Like this is a Muslim. Like they've come to the point where we gonna sell fried chicken. We gonna grow our own chickens and sell it. How is it that we have not done this? When eggs went up, how many black chicken farmers are there? Like, I feel like these are things we should be saying, hey, economically, in order for us to fit in, we have to produce something. Because the Asians took the hair and beauty thing and they've run with it, right? Latinos have done the contracting, and I'm not saying they all do it, but roofing, construction work, all this kind of stuff, they've run with it. They've cornered the market. Look at the Arabs with the gas stations and the corner stores. What's our product? What's ours? CDs, DVDs, right? Like, I'm not knocking somebody's hustle. I'm just saying, where's our black architectural firms? Where's our black stock brokerage firms? Where's black farmers? Where they should exist heavily, especially since we got all of this land in the South that we've gone back down there and reclaimed. What? Why aren't we manufacturing things? Why aren't we?
Nigga.
Well, see, there you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. He said, he said, wow, and Dion speaks. This is Orlando trying to get you riled. So Ace Cooley said, you are removed from the streets. You are now an old ass man. Absolutely. He said, yes, you are removed. Hell yeah. I just told you I'm 49 years old. What the fuck? Listen, I don't feel like I had anything else to prove in the streets. Honestly, I can't think of anything that I've missed. I was involved in a lot of shit without snitching on myself. Most of it is shit I shouldn't have been involved in. I'm not absolutely, you know what? I'm not even really all that pleased with some of the dumb shit I used to do in the streets. It's a black eye for me. I'm for real. Like I openly admit that. And I thank God every day for delivering me from that state of mind, like where I was willing to be counterproductive in my own community for a few bucks here and there. I was way smarter than that, and I had way more hustle than that. So but when in Rome, right? When in Rome, Ruben Anderson said, real talk. Get you up. Let's see. Malik said, yeah, that Al-Qaeda bird. Yeah, man. We used to hit that gas station, man, get that chicken, boy. And it was cheaper than KFC. Orlando said, I know where there's some farmland available. Well, shouldn't it be a collective, though? Like, you can't put that on one person. And I don't know if somebody's doing this in Milwaukee, Kamar. You are way better versed at telling me about. Is there somebody right now who says we want to start a collective, purchase some land in Wisconsin, and grow something on it? I don't know if there's.
I don't know of them personally. I know of a couple of groups of people that told me about it, but I don't really know them personally. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I know some people talking about it. I mean, I've even been involved in a couple conversations about getting some land down south or something, and or somebody going to live on it to farm it. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's people talking about it. I think the consciousness of it is rising. You know, more people are thinking about doing it, especially now that they seeing what's going on now. Like, shit, it'd be easier to grow your own food.
Well, see,
a lot of holistic people. You got a lot of holistic people that's talking this language now. Well, not now, but they've been doing it, so it's a lot stronger now. We hear Rail talking about.
What was the brother name? Will, I forget his name. He had the hydroponic where he used the water to fish.
I can't think of his name right
now. Will Allen.
Yeah.
And he had a whole enterprise going off where he was using the fish and their manure and this kind of thing. And then he hit the wall financially. Some shit happened. And that failed. But Kamar, something as simple as purchase a swath of land and build a greenhouse. I get people who do the community gardens, but what if you built the community greenhouse because it could produce all year?
Yeah, that would be year round. Yeah.
And that
you can actually do that with the community gardens, but it's just the money that you have to put into it.
I don't know that it would cost that much. This is something, and I'm brainstorming, but because once again, it should be about coming up with solutions, right? But these are things we should be investing in, saying, okay, let's stop being so dependent on this machine, because right now we are all a little nervous that they're gonna snatch the rug off from under us. Like, shit.
They is gonna snatch the rug from under us. You been to the grocery store lately? It's so suspicious going on. I can't put my finger on it. Only thing I know is people need is just get your shit together, non-perishable foods, plenty of water, all that type of shit, because you know it's something coming.
Let me see. Ernest Walker said it was a place called Callie's. Is that what it said? Calls? Can't see what it says. He said, "Big holy shit, Big U claims Whack 100, Loose Cannon, and 600 were involved in that. Whack 100 working with the Fed, and that Whack is working with the Fed. Surprise, surprise, right? Like, yeah. Listen, everything got to come to a head, man. I've been looking at this foolishness on the internet. Like, where's this shit gonna crash out at? Because either somebody gonna get killed, or they all going to jail, right? Like, if you live long enough, you say, everything comes to a head because you can't just go on crazy forever, right? Eventually, D-Day is coming. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be on YouTube quite a while tonight. Orlando said we have land available and manufacturing land is also available in Wisconsin. Well, that's cool, but the collective to get the financing to do so is what I'm saying. Because once you get 4 or 5 really well-to-do brothers together and they say this is the plan, then it's all about how we gonna fund this. But there's money to do this. There's money. We got brothers, we got people here who make money. There's some black people here who make a nice coin. You know what I mean? I feel like this takes forward-thinking leaders. I feel like this is think outside the box leadership. To say, hey, it's cool to dig those gardens in the summer, but what if we took one of those gardens and put a greenhouse on it so that it could continue year-round? Hell, MPS could get involved and start sending kids for agricultural education to work in these greenhouses. Or you got these big-ass old MPS buildings with plenty ground space. Build a greenhouse there. Now, they did this agricultural thing at Vincent High School. Like, they have animals. I know that at one point they had the farm animals. And
they got sheep up there and everything. They still got all that shit up there.
But Vincent has, what is their school population? Right. No matter what we do for MPS, it's still a 50% truancy rate. So keep that in mind. So we got to figure out how to get our kids to go back to school, too. Ewok said a place called Cal's Chicken Coop on like 39th and Center, selling 3 wings for $1 back in the days. I know the chicken coop, Flip's Chicken Coop was up by our house off Atkinson and Teutonia back in the days. But that was, he said 39th and Center. Flip's Chicken Coop was on Teutonia, 20th, I believe. So man, if you from old school and you from the hood, you remember Flip's. Go in there with $1 and get 100 pieces of penny candy. Earl Henning said the feds are watching. Absolutely. Jesse Vaughn, man, my brother Jesse Vaughn. I went to grad school with Jesse, good brother. He said, streets, no streets. I'm glad I met you when I did, brother. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, Jesse was my guy, man. Jesse, we need to hook up, man. I don't know if you still run, but I got some shit. I don't know if you still run, man. Yeah, that's my guy, man. We had a good time in grad school. Got our masters in the same cohort. He said, streets or no streets. I'm glad I met you when I did. Yes, man. Feelings mutual, my brother. I think I was pretty much reformed by the time grad school came around. My kids had started to grow up. So I had gotten more into squaring up, as they say. I was pretty square when I got in grad school. That we acknowledged Trump's segregation ban. Segregation ban. Let's talk about it. We got time. What is the nature of the segregation ban? Trump do so much shit. I can't remember everything. Trump is just bird shit everywhere. It's like, man. Will Allen, you're right. We picked that up. So they used to have a year-round greenhouse on 57, 58th and Silver Spring. I know.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to that. What happened to old school Will?
Well, once again, if the baton has been put down, is it not somebody in our generation's job to pick it up? So things have to keep going, you got to keep moving. Said, desegregation ban. Well, Trump is doing all kinds of crazy shit. He's going after schools. He's slowly but surely nipping at us, foundational Black Americans. He's nipping at our heels. The only thing about it is he and anybody else who's a white nationalist, you're going to be a victim of your own discrimination, because what you're going to find out is most of the shit that y'all wrote and came up with for us wasn't working for us anyways. So if you get rid of it, it don't hurt us that much. Now, I don't know if people understand that bad.
I got one.
Okay.
I got one for you. This here, I've been seeing different stuff about this today, different posts or whatever. And my thing is, if it's true, it's gonna hurt them. God damn it. My thing is, if it's true, it's gonna hurt them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was doing well. Integration fucked us up. You know what I mean? We the biggest consumers. Some motherfucker see me on the show, man, and he calling me and shit. Anyway, we the biggest consumers. You know what I'm saying? We the biggest consumers. So, like, okay, y'all want to start doing some segregation shit where y'all don't want to fuck with us? We really can just fuck with each other now. You know what I mean? And we gonna thrive again. And this is one of the reasons why they did the whole integration, I feel like, because they saw the money that was being spent from our community.
We ain't got to spend no money with their racist ass.
Well, I keep saying people got to pay
Fuck
attention
'em.
to what kicked the whole Southern civil rights movement was energized and polarized by the bus boycott. I don't know why that's not given its correct place in terms of one of the more pivotal events that we have. That showed right there. If we don't spin, they're going to want to be our friend. Okay. And we should have kept that momentum. What we actually did, we actually took 2 steps back, because as soon as they said, okay, y'all can sit up front, we said, all right, we're going to start riding again. When it should have been, hey, let's pool all the money we're saving from not riding these buses and purchase our own buses. Y'all want us to have colored buses, right? Y'all got colors, bubblers, colored toilets. Now, I know what a lot of black people are going to say. There was no way they would have let us do that, because they would have just burnt any buses we had. You to run the risk of getting attacked, this kind of thing. But we don't know. You can't say what would have happened if you don't try. I'm just throwing that out there. Go ahead, brother.
But Kev, it go deeper than that, man. We got to scratch this. That's just like really scratching the surface of it. What do we equate successfulness and equality to? You know, like we'll see the police, we'll see a white man get pulled over by the police. He'll jump out, talk all type of shit, have his hand on his hip, have a gun on his hip. Police like, don't use it. They use every restraint in the goddamn book not to kill him, and don't kill him. You know what I'm saying? We look at them and we want what they have. So we wanted to move where they move. We wanted to eat where they ate at. We wanted to work with, because we thought that would bring us equality. But they never looked at us as equal. So instead of the one brother said, instead of we looking for integration, we was looking for assimilation. You know, that's just like you. That's why when you see a nigga with a white woman, he smiling from ear to ear and like a goddamn Chester cat. You understand what I'm saying? Because he think he got the white prize. You feel what I'm saying? Like literally though, like we equate equality and fairness and everything to what we see them do. You know what I'm saying? If
some
they
of
doing
us,
it, that's
some of us.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Some of us, not all of us, but
right.
because that was what you call that was the bar. Whiteness set the bar. You know, like you said, like when we be talking about when they was like, they showed that old film clip. It was like when you sell to the Negro, you know, give him this, give him that. So that's why you see us. We love Mercedes, BMWs, you know what I'm saying? All that high end shit, because we want to be like them. We try to, you know what I'm saying? And there's no way, I don't care, even with the president of the United States. And even though, as you say, he was, I don't know what you call him, a tether nigger or whatever you call him, but they still didn't look at him as equal to them. He was a DEI hire or whatever. So because of the white mentality, I don't care what we have or what we do, we will never be equal to them. And that's how they look at us. You feel what I'm saying? And that was the reason when we was talking a couple of weeks ago, when I was talking about CRT and, you know, white folks learning about us. Because when I was down in Memphis and I was at the Martin Luther King Museum, I seen some white people. And it's good because white people, I mean, I don't care what nobody say. White people segregate themselves. They move way out. They don't know shit. They don't really know about us, man. You know, people be like, yeah, they know. And this, no, they don't. Maybe it's a few of them that do. You know what I'm saying? We ain't did no statistics. We ain't did no statistics to ask how many people, well, what do you know about Emmett Till, or what do you know about Denmark Vesey, David Walker, or blah, 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 this, or blah, 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 that. So it's for them to, maybe a few of them, to learn about us. Well, some of them can have some empathy. You know, maybe they can teach their kids empathy, because racism is really a taught trait. If you want to
hold on, because I do agree with you that racism is taught. I think hate is taught, or it's a learned behavior. I shouldn't say taught, but I say learned. Now, here's the thing. Like you saying there's white people who are segregated who don't know nothing about us. That's true. That's true. That's very true. Because it is. But we're talking about this country is more than just small towns in the South. This country has major cities. And in those cities, there's an immense population of white people who know about us. Do they care about us? Absolutely not. Do they care about some of our small nuances? Absolutely not. But they know exactly who we are. And even if you live in one of these small towns, you can go in there and you can pretend that, hey, I'm not gonna acknowledge their existence. But if you got a television, a radio, the internet, or whatever, you know about it. Like black people ain't no secret. It sounds like you're saying they walking around that town like we've never seen them. There's black people on the earth. No, they know who they've chosen to segregate themselves from. Now we got another caller. Hold on, Dion. If I got enough battery life left. Caller, is this Orlando? Okay. I don't know. Who's 803? Caller? I turned it down. Can you hear us? Okay. Guess this individual said I'm a call, but I ain't gonna say nothing. Or is my phone doing the goofy again? It might be doing the goofy. It appears that it is. Let me see what I can do. Only thing I can do in this sense is clear the line. Yeah, I don't know what's up with this phone. It just won't do right. I think it's a registered sex offender or something. I don't know, Kamar. I don't know what's up with your phone. All right, Dion, do we got you back? Ain't got Dion either. Yeah, phone going crazy on me, y'all. Get in the chat room, caller. Get in the chat room because the phone is acting real crazy at this point. It says, who remember the charcoal pit? I remember that, Ace. Witch Doctor Orlando's agreeing with you. He said it's your time to take the lead in terms of this greenhouse thing. He said, man, I think the feds got a bigger hold on.
Hey, I ain't the gardener. You give me the stuff after you grow it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna help make some more good stuff for you.
Ewok says, man, I think the feds got a bigger hold on hip hop than we know. These cats are willing to work with them for that fame and money. It's more than we think. Well, when you on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram saying all this shit, you're on a cell phone constantly. Do they have to even listen to hip hop, or is it just like, okay, let's just watch YouTube? Come on, I don't know. Ewok, I mean, I'm not saying your theory isn't true or accurate. I don't know. I just know you make it very simple. You make it very simple for them when you get on the internet, on television, on the radio, take pictures, whatever, what have you, do movies, and you perpetuate this lifestyle. You make their job very easy. So I don't know. It's a great quandary. Orlando said, yeah, it was me. I'll try back. Actually, I don't know what's up with the phone, and it's 10 o'clock, so I'm gonna get out of here. We'll be back Monday. Kamar, you got something coming up this weekend?
Nope, same old thing, man. Come on down to the House of Vitality so I can work on your immune system. Come on in, y'all. Come on in.
So we often talk about, what are you doing versus what you're saying? Are you a man of action? You're a woman of action, or do you just perpetrate on social media? You do it for the gram, as they say. Do you do it for the internet? And I want to say once again, rest in peace to Daryl Farmer, aka King Rick, the biggest panther in the jungle. The one thing I can say about this brother is that it wasn't just all talk. And he talked a lot. He was very loud. He was very big. He had a powerful presence, but he was about action. I got to participate in a lot of action in our community through my association with Daryl Farmer. We got, like I said, we got county laws passed, resolutions passed. We brought a lot of attention and a lot of light to a lot of things people didn't know about. It took a lot of bravery. That's why we have a kinship, and you could see all of those of us who were there. There's a kinship because we all went through this together. It was a crazy experience. but we all learned something from it. But I think what I learned most was that it's very important to not just talk about it, but to be about it. I remember getting off the air, 2017 when the gas station was burning, going down to, because I live pretty far away from where that gas station is. It's a good distance. We went to it. My brother, myself, and T-Brad. Shout out to T-Brad, who's on the show then. And that gas station was on fire, and there were several other fires. But I saw people so angry and so pissed off that they was willing to lay their lives on the line. The talking was over. When the police tried to do their normal scare tactics, the people spoke. The voice was heard, Kamar. They said, nah, not tonight. And I, right then and there, I remember just being so impressed, like, hey, man, the voice of the people is very powerful. But you get people who misuse it, or they misconstrue it, or they mislead it, or they underserve it. Foundational Black Americans are inherently a very powerful, strong, wise, progressive group of people. But a lot of times the negative things that come into play because of some of our situations, which dictate circumstances, kind of take control and create a different narrative. That's why when I hear that brother who called in, shout out to him, but he thought he was calling in going to put me up on something, talking about why we ain't on nuclear and all this. Who said we ain't? Who said it ain't black physicists? And I love when they say athletes, Kamar, like all of us is pro athletes or everybody else is a loser because they're not an athlete. What kind of fool are you? There's statistically more black millionaires now and billionaires even than there's ever been in the history of this country. Tell me we ain't made no moves in the last 50 years besides the NBA. The fuck out of here. You got a black man who's taken over Fortune 500 companies and becomes one of the biggest CEOs with the whole frozen food thing. There's many black entrepreneurs who've made their money. But you're going to say we ain't done nothing. So fuck his contribution, right? But then ultimately we look at somebody like Big U, who was given all his props and all his credit because he's a gangster. He's a street dude. And he's doing all these philanthropic things in the community, Kamar. Allegedly, at the same time, he's operating a criminal empire, which continues the cycle of perpetuated dysfunction in our community. See, this is why I say sometimes it don't matter what the fuck you doing for community service. It don't matter what charity you got. This is why I go at Charleston White. Because ultimately you're counterproductive. And so
hey, I ain't never heard of no I ain't never heard of no community service what this nigga did either.
Who Big U?
Yeah.
Oh no, he has multiple charities in Los Angeles. Funded by, he has government funds and private donors. That's why they got him on tax fraud too.
Hey, look, but dig this, right? Exactly that. But then it's also some PPP loan shit they sweating him for. But anyway, right. but you know, I was just finna say, you know what I mean? Like you see a lot of organizations that's supposed to be good for the community, but they ain't doing shit for the community. They just collecting money.
This is what I'm saying. When we have the argument, when I have the debate with people about an individual, not just him, but others like a Charleston White, who on one front, you'll hear him make sense. You'll see him do something. But on the back end, see, integrity is about what you do when ain't nobody looking. Just because you act good for the camera don't mean you got integrity, right? What kind of code do you live by? And especially if you are getting something out of the community, like you can sell music or you can sell a product, and you can create these philanthropic agencies and initiatives. But if you turn it around, murder, killing, stealing, willing, filling, and drilling on the back end, you gotta go. We'll find somebody else to do what you was doing. Somebody that's sincere. Somebody that ain't gonna play us the way we've been played in the past. My point is that we talk about, are you just speaking a good game or are you living a good life? Meaning, am I just talking about loving black people and then I'm really a coon when I'm off the air? Well, if you know me, you know that's absolutely not true. But when you see me, I'm always trying to represent black as best as I possibly can. When you hear me communicate with somebody about us being black, I try to do it as thoroughly and clearly as I can because I take it serious. It is very serious to me. I feel like there's so many people that have sacrificed before me that it would be disrespectful for me to be counterproductive. That's kind of what led me away from bullshit in the first place. And brother Daryl Farmer is one of the brothers that I happen to encounter, and I say, God don't make no mistakes. He's one of the brothers that came into my life for a reason and a season. And I learned a lot from him. I learned how to conduct myself in terms of what I actually want to do for the people. What's my lane? What role do I want to play in whatever revolution is coming? I like that y'all talked about ayahuasca, right? And getting to know yourself and dealing with yourself. I got to do that when I was a Panther because I got to sit and think about problems that exist in the community for a long time and say, hey, at one point you was part of that. Or, hey, what should we do about that? What would you like to see done about that? So shout out to him, man. Rest in peace to the brother Daryl Farmer, King Rick. I always say I don't call no other man king, but in light of his passing, prayers and condolences to his family. And I'm just shout out to Mike Payne, who's kind of continued the OBP. But I just want to say, be aware, man. When somebody comes into your life and you meet someone who kind of inspires you or teaches you, we got hard heads. So sometimes you say, fuck him or fuck her, but you can learn something. You'll be surprised because ultimately what your goal should be is to contribute to the community more than you criticize it. And if you're having a problem kind of establishing those boundaries, you're probably a coon. I will see y'all Monday, man. Peace and love. Share the show, share the show, share the show. Kamar, shout out to you and the House of Vitality. All the black businesses at Sherman Phoenix. Shout out to the hood. Everywhere. Everybody's hood. And yeah, let's get these fake ass gangsters off YouTube, y'all. It's time for the bullshit to stop. It's time to start building. We done tore it down. Now let's rebuild it. Peace and love, man. I'll see y'all Monday, man.